or any kind of event around SEC and college football at this point without the off-field conversations that will continue. The SEC now is at 16 teams. It's the first SEC Media Days featuring Texas and Oklahoma. So here we are in Dallas, set to return to Atlanta next year, by the way. That already announced. So we come to Dallas with Texas and Oklahoma now part of the league. They're 16 teams now. They will be tomorrow. What about into the future? That continues to be a part of the conversation. We'll invite you to join us today. You can connect with us. Call or text in at 865-656-9900. I'm Josh Ward here in Dallas, and very excited to have back on the show Jason Swain, VFL, former Tennessee wide receiver. Swain, I've missed you over the last couple of weeks.
What's up, man? What's up? I'm good. Good to be here. Perfect time at SEC Media Days. It's the official kickoff to the 2024-25 college football season. Fired up about that. I was excited about the expansion of Texas and Oklahoma. I feel like they need to be hazed for initiation. I don't know if I feel all that great about Texas OU entering the league, but it doesn't really matter because they're here.
Swain, it's 2024. The hazing days are in the past.
No. What I mean is Oklahoma, Texas hit a couple road games and get a little taste of what it's like to compete in the SEC. That's what I mean by hazing. But you are right. Hazing, we've moved past that as a society, hopefully. But we're going to haze them by giving them the business when they hit the road inside of the SEC.
We will talk about what has happened over the last few months, last couple of years, as we've gotten to this point with 16 teams. Texas is not coming in to be hazed, though. Texas is coming in, Swain, after a playoff appearance last year, looking to make the playoff, looking to win the SEC. That's their goal coming in, and a lot of people, I think, believe there's a chance that's going to happen.
Yeah, Texas is coming into the league to do the hazing, and they have a team that can go win the whole deal. You look at Georgia, you look at Texas, they are the two best teams right now, in the SEC. Alabama has a very talented roster. LSU, talented roster. You look at OU, their roster is fairly talented. Tennessee. So there's a lot of schools trying to make a name for themselves, and they're not going to sit by and just let Georgia and Texas get all the love and go win all the games. So this is going to be a very competitive year inside the SEC, but it's going to be extremely more difficult because you are entering or welcoming Texas and OU. It's unlike it was in 2012, Josh, where you brought in Texas A&M and Missouri, and you didn't know how good they would be entering the league. Missouri obviously came into the league and started to win, but we saw Oklahoma last year. We saw Texas last year. They're both coming into the league winning. So it's going to be a fun year, man.
Yeah, Dallas is interesting. You come here, you step outside, it feels like the SEC. It's hot. It's hot here. But there's a different vibe than, like, if we go to Hoover. A little bit different vibe here.
Something's wrong about your picture, man. Where's your cowboy hat? I know you got your cowboy boots on.
I've seen a lot of cowboy hats, a lot of boots.
Where's your hat? Where's your cowboy hat, Josh? I thought you were supposed to be in the Texas spirit.
Well, partner.
There you go.
I could rock the cowboy hat and probably get away with it.
Southern Josh.
Yeah.
I love it.
Trying to be a gentleman, which you're going to have to be with Texas and Oklahoma now coming in the league. There is a lot of buzz here about the opener for Oklahoma, which is going to feature Tennessee going to Norman. It'll be the SEC opener for Tennessee as well. That is one of the most popular games to talk about here when we zoom out and say, okay, what are the biggest games of the season? We've spent so much time over the years talking Tennessee, Florida. That's how Tennessee starts the SEC typically. The Tennessee-Alabama game with all its history. Tennessee, Georgia's had a lot of big games. Tennessee, Oklahoma, I think, is getting as much or more talk this season than any of those other games for the Vols.
This is going to be something that we have to get used to. The SEC opener playing against a different team besides Florida. Every year during the summer workouts, you're motivated by that first SEC game, and that's either going on the road, playing the Gators in Gainesville or playing the Gators home and hosting them. That's the first SEC game year in and year out. That's no longer the case right now because Oklahoma is the first game in the SEC, and we understand all the strings attached, all the implications, all the storylines between Tennessee and Oklahoma. There's no need to highlight that today, but it's different for sure for Tennessee, these players, because we got some guys on this football team. They've been here 5-6 years, and so instead of that trip to Gainesville, it's an extended trip to Norman, and it's a trip that none of these guys on the football team they've made.
Tennessee will be here tomorrow. Cooper Mays, Amari Thomas, Keenan Peely. What do you think about the trio that Josh Heupel will bring to Dallas tomorrow?
Well, two of the names, no surprise there. That's Cooper Mays and Omari Thomas. That's the two that I predicted. Keenan Peely is an interesting selection, not because he won't do a fine job representing Tennessee, but he just got here, and he hasn't played. He got hurt in the first game last year versus Virginia. I don't think he brought in 25 plays as a Tennessee Volunteer, yet he is representing Tennessee at SEC Media Days. He's going to do a fine job, but that's the name that stands out from the other two.
Yeah, Amari's a repeat, so he's a two-time attendant here after coming to, went to Nashville last year for SEC Media Days. So he knows how this all works. The rooms will be a little bit different, but he made the circuit last year for Tennessee.
Well, when you go look at history, Tennessee football, SEC Media Days, there's not a lot of guys that have been down to Birmingham or Nashville or Atlanta representing Tennessee more than once. So Amari is in special. He's in a special category, being one of the few guys being able to go represent Tennessee multiple times.
We got in the text box Cam in Chattanooga asking, on a scale of 1 to 10, what are the chances we get Josh Heupel to say that Tennessee is the real UT and that he does the horns down here at Media Days?
It's a 0% chance. He's not going to do that. I would do that in the locker room if I'm Josh Heupel, but he's not going to do that there. And we already have documentation that Josh Heupel will throw the horns down. He's done it before as a player. And pictures never lie. They never go away. We have that forever.
Yeah, he won't have a hard time saying Tennessee's the real UT or that Tennessee wears. I think he's answered this before, either the right shade of orange or the only shade of orange, something like that. The horns down at Media Days, I'd be surprised by that. But if he's asked what's the real UT, he'd say Tennessee. Remember when Mike Schwartz was still an assistant at Tennessee, now he's the head coach at East Carolina. He played for Rick Barnes at Texas, was there on staff, and I asked him one time, what's the real UT? And he said, it's always been Tennessee, because he was working at Tennessee. So that one's easy. The horns down thing, showing a little disrespect to the new member in Dallas hosting SEC Media Days, that one I would think is unlikely.
The real UT conversation is silly, Josh. It's very silly. And I get it. It's fun. It gets people engaged. But it's silly.
You think it's Tampa?
Tampa? No.
If you go to ut.edu, it's the University of Tampa.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
LeBron James Jr. Does anyone ask who's the real LeBron James? Does anyone ever ask? You're not a junior. I'm not a junior. But has anyone ever asked a junior, hey, are you the real Mike Smith? No, it's always senior. Senior is always the real one. Tennessee been here. Tennessee is older. Tennessee saved Texas from Mexico. This should not be a question. It's always Tennessee. It always will be Tennessee. It's why it's a silly question.
So there's University of Southern California. That's the USC that you name, and that's the one that makes sense. South Carolina, with all due respect, the game in Columbia is at the table next to us, but Tennessee fans, and I think others also refer to them as USC Junior, right? So are you suggesting that Texas is UT Junior now that it's in the SEC?
I already called them UT Junior.
Okay.
I called South Carolina USC Junior. I can't even write it on my notes without putting the JR next to it. I always do that.
Okay.
I've been doing that. Where have you been, Josh? You need to catch up. Catch up. It's UT Junior. It's USC Junior.
Okay.
Tennessee, been here, okay? It's why we will always be senior. It's as simple as that. We named Texas. We're senior. We're daddy. Texas is not. It's pretty simple.
Okay. Well, I like simple. I don't like complicated. I like simple. So you're helping me today. You're helping me.
Glad to help, man.
It's good to have you back. Jason Swain is here, VFL, former Tennessee wide receiver. We'll come back and invite you to be a part of the show today. Call or text in at 865-656-9900. Jim Nagy, the executive director of the Senior Bowl, is set to sit down with us to begin the 1 o'clock hour. We'll talk to him about the talent that is a part of Tennessee's roster, who's on his radar. A year ago, he told us at Media Days that he liked Cooper Mays. That was a player they were watching for this past year's Senior Bowl, but Cooper decided to come back for one more season at Tennessee. So we'll talk about Cooper. We'll talk about other players who might be catching the eye, as it is a senior group that is coming in college football years, very literally, with Keenan Peely, Amari Thomas, and Cooper Mays representing Tennessee tomorrow. We'll be here until 3 o'clock this afternoon, and we have live coverage all week long in Dallas with SEC Football Media Days. Day one continues right here on Josh and Swain.
Here's your chance to qualify to win the trip to see the Eagles in concert at the Sphere Las Vegas. Here's your national keyword to text in right now. The word is heartache. That's HEARTACHE. Text that word right now to 95819, and you could be the winner of a trip of a lifetime to see the Eagles in Las Vegas at the Sphere from 99.1 The Sports Animal.
Our friends at Hiller, they're celebrating 34 years in business this year. They're bringing the celebration to you with their birthday bash this month. Until July the 31st, you can enjoy a free smart thermostat with select new HVAC systems. Also, free water tests, free leak detection, and shutoff valves with tankless water heaters. Also, buy 10, get free landscaping lights. Celebrate Hiller's birthday bash. Visit the website, that is happyhiller.com, for more details.
This has been a paid announcement.
Trees add beauty and value to our homes and lives, but when tree troubles strike, chopping them down might seem like the only answer. Well, enter Bartlett Tree Experts. With over 115 years of scientific tree care, Bartlett Certified Arborists craft a plan for you, covering pruning to soil care and treatments that shield your trees from diseases and insects. If removal's the only option, Bartlett's got your back on that too. Trust your tree care to the experts at Bartlett. Visit Bartlett.com. That's Bartlett.com.
The summer is here, and what is the biggest activity happening over these summer months? It's wedding season. Hey, this is Heather. If you need jewelry for your big day, then you need my jewelry store, TK Wheeler Jewelers. They've got everything bridal, from a huge selection of engagement rings. They've got the wedding bands that either match or are totally off the cuff. They even have wedding party gifts. How about beautiful charms or gold necklace pendants for your bridesmaids, or a cool bracelet for all your groom's gifts? And if you want to start your marriage off on the right foot with your mother-in-law, what about a beautiful gold bangle bracelet? That means she's always going to remember you're the favorite son-in-law. TK Wheeler Jewelers has everything you need to look perfect and have the perfect gifts on your wedding day. They're located on South Illinois Avenue in Oak Ridge. TK has been in business for decades, and he is going to treat you right. It's always the place to shop when you want more bling for your buck. It's my jewelry store, the one and only TK Wheeler Jewelers.
This has been a paid announcement.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
O'Reilly. Need a little help? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. Need advice? We've got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Neurological Performance Group, known simply as NPG Brain and Concussion Clinic in Dallas Springs, was co-founded by Dr. Todd Abel, a local neurosurgeon, a local businessman, Mark Slaughter, and Mark Helinski of Helinski's Hope, very purposely after his son took his life while a quarterback at WSU, which was brought on by a brain disease called CTE, caused by repeated hits to the head. NPG Brain and Concussion Clinic, whether it's a concierge concussion program or mild cognitive impairment concerns, NPG brings the right people, the right technologies, and the right price so everyone can live a happier, safer life.
Josh and Swain on 99.1 The Sports Animal. Once again, voted one of the top 25 sports midday shows in America by Barrett Sports Media.
Welcome back into Josh and Swain. Thank you for being with us. We're on social media. Connect on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Josh and Swain. You can watch us today as well. We are back on YouTube, so you can stop by the 99.1 Sports Animal YouTube channel. Corey already in the YouTube chat said, miss you guys. Glad to have you back on YouTube. Glad to have Swain back. In the text box, Chip says the same. Glad to have Swain back on the show. Here for you, and we've missed you, so glad to have you back and right on time, Swain, with the start of SEC Media Days, which, as you said, feels like the unofficial kickoff to football season. As while you were away, you hopped on for a couple segments last week. Tony Vitello's been doing his thing, grabbing talent to come in for the 25 season while he was celebrating Tennessee's talent that was drafted yesterday, with more to come here in the next couple of days.
Yeah, you see Tony Vitello featured on MLB Network during the draft. I remember watching Nick Saban during NFL draft and watching his players being drafted, watching him get free publicity to help with his recruiting. And I remember being envious of that, being jealous and not wanting to see it. It was great seeing Tony Vitello, and I'm pretty sure all the rival teams and fans of Tennessee baseball would feel the same way that we felt watching Nick Saban. So yep. It's really, really cool to see Tony Vitello on that stage. Honestly, man, if he ever stops coaching, he would be great doing that. He's a natural.
Yeah, I've already told you it frustrates me, and I'm not even joking in this instance, that he's able to just walk right up to the mic and be as good as he is in a media setting. Well, I still have so much work to do after all these years in my own craft.
Hey,
so good for Tony.
Sometimes you're born with it, sometimes you don't, and you're not, and you have to work on it. Tony Vitello, one of those guys.
He's got it.
That he was born with it.
Yep. Today at SEC Media Days, and by the way, Tony was just down the road because Texas here in Dallas, Arlington area, hosting the draft and then All-Star Game activities tonight and tomorrow. Home Run Derby tonight. The game is coming up tomorrow. So big baseball time here in Texas as well. But today, 4 teams are here. LSU is already underway. We've heard from Brian Kelly meeting with the media. In the first session, it's LSU and South Carolina, and then Vanderbilt and Ole Miss here today. So those are the 4 teams to kick off SEC Football Media Days. It's year 3 for Brian Kelly, so the expectations are always high in Baton Rouge, and they will be for him entering this season. There's a lot of talk about what Ole Miss is going to be able to do. They've made all those portal additions to try to make a run at the playoff this year.
That's the name of the game. If you want to make a run, you gotta recruit well. You have to develop, but you also have to do a really good job in the portal. Teams like Ole Miss have something to say about Texas getting all the love and Georgia getting all the love right now during the offseason. Ole Miss and Ohio State, Colorado, those 3 teams nationally kind of the test to see, okay, how much improvement can you make going into the portal and really investing into the portal. But right here in the SEC, man, it's about Ole Miss, man. It's about Ole Miss being able to go into the portal, and they've done a great job so far this year.
Yeah, Colorado, you're right. It's been a headline grabber. I think that would be number 1 with the portal, but if it's not Colorado, then it's Ole Miss. I think with the transfer to the SIP and the big names like Juice Wells and Walter Nolan, who have chosen to go to Ole Miss. With Jackson Dart coming back, Jackson Dart is one of Ole Miss's representatives here today. No surprise there. Trey Harris, their all-SEC wide receiver going into the season, is here today. So with the talent they have returning, especially at quarterback, but the big names coming in, a former all-SEC guy in Juice Wells, Walter Nolan, who was one of the top players overall in the class 2 years ago. Tennessee fans are familiar with Walter Nolan going there. If it's not Colorado, and maybe it is Ole Miss because Colorado's going into the season with part of the attention is just because it's Dion and then Shedeur and Travis Hunter getting some attention. But with Ole Miss, it's because of Lane, but also their playoff hopes. They'll go in, I think, either ranked 3rd or 4th in the predicted order of finish. My guess is Bama's ahead of them, but if that's the case, I think Ole Miss will be picked 4th in the SEC later this week.
Yeah, at the time when Lane Kiffin was mentioned with the Auburn job, mentioned with the Texas A&M job, people didn't really understand why he wouldn't go. Why would you not leave Ole Miss? Come on, Auburn's a better job than Ole Miss. Texas A&M is a better job than Ole Miss. You have all the resources. But one thing Lane saw was, okay, I can get to the college football playoff at Ole Miss. I can recruit well right here because I have the portal, and he's done a really good job of attracting humans that want to live in Oxford, Mississippi. I don't know who wants to live in Mississippi, but hey, he's gotten players that want to go down there and play and be able to compete for a championship.
Yeah, where was Ole Miss in top 25 overall prospect Jason Swain's list?
They were not anywhere to be found.
Was it still Tuberville during your recruitment?
No. Tuberville was at Auburn.
Okay, he'd already gone to Auburn.
I don't know who the coach was at Ole Miss at that time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, it would have been Cut, right?
Really?
Yeah, David Cutcliffe.
Was he there in 03, 02 time?
Yeah.
Ugh. Sorry, Coach.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of that right offhand, but yeah, of course, through your recruiting process.
It didn't matter if Don Shula was the coach at Ole Miss or John Madden himself. I wasn't living in Mississippi. I wasn't going to Ole Miss. As simple as that. I just wasn't interested.
Yep. Would Lane have gotten you to take a visit?
Nope.
Still no. Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Lane, of course, will be here following the sad news last week. His father, Monty Kiffin, who's a legendary coach. He coached at Tennessee, was beloved by so many people, players, coaches, people at Tennessee. Loved Monty Kiffin the year that he was here. So that will also be on the minds. Our thoughts have been with Lane in the last week with that news. They shared that Thursday, and they had a quote from Knox, his grandson, of course, Lane's son, talking about the pain that Monty had been in, no longer in that pain. But that'll be part of the discussion today because Monty's a guy that impacted a lot of people in the game of football, collegiately and, of course, in the professional ranks with what he did coaching on the defensive side.
Yeah, big coaching tree. I met Monty one time when he was the defense coordinator here at Tennessee. Never met Lane while he was here at Tennessee, but everyone spoke highly of Monty. You think about all the coaches that came from his tree, and they're still coaching today. And I know Lane has made so many changes in his life for the positive, for the better. Mm-hmm. And I know Lane's going to continue to make his dad proud with how he's turned his coaching career around.
So Lane Kiffin will be here today. 4 teams are here today. LSU, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Ole Miss. Tennessee will be here tomorrow. What kind of all-SEC talk will Tennessee get going into the season? Nico will be one of the talking points when we talk about the Vols tomorrow, but over the next few days with the predictions of what will happen this season. You can join us as well during the conversation. Call or text in at 865-656-9900. VFL and former Tennessee wide receiver Jason Swain is here. I'm Josh Ward. We continue SEC Football Media Days coverage in Dallas, welcoming Texas and Oklahoma to the SEC 16 strong, says the banner hanging over us here in Dallas. We'll continue the conversation on Josh and Swain.
Johnson, I've been reading about this geofencing. Know anything about it?
Yeah, boss. We use geofencing through Cumulus Digital to help drive our sales.
How does it work?
We pick precise locations, and whenever a customer enters that location, they see our ads.
That's what I thought.
CumulusDigital.com.
The great thing about sports is it never stops. Here's another 60-second sports minute on the Sports Animal.
Tennessee baseball had 4 players selected to the first 2 rounds of the Major League Baseball draft yesterday, marking the most picks to the first 2 rounds of any draft in program history. Second baseman Christian Moore went 8th overall to the Angels early in the first round. First baseman Blake Burke went 34th overall in the competitive balance round to the Milwaukee Brewers. Third baseman Billy Amick went in the second round 60th overall to the Minnesota Twins. And outfielder Dylan Dreiling went to the Rangers at number 65 overall. Couple of major soccer finals on Sunday. Argentina defeated Colombia 1-0 in extra time to win the Copa America. It's Argentina's 16th title in the tournament. In the Euro 2024 final, Spain defeated England 2-1. And in tennis, Carlos Alcaraz swept Novak Djokovic in straight sets to win his second Wimbledon championship. Alcaraz is just the second man in history to win each of his first 4 Grand Slam singles finals appearances. I'm Joel Silverberg.
Hey, it's Josh. I want to tell you about Wilson Brothers Plumbing, a local company dedicated to upholding a standard of excellence in every aspect of their work. And I can tell you that is the case from the personal experience that I had using Wilson Brothers Plumbing at my home. We've used Wilson Brothers Plumbing multiple times, helping us with a project that we had planned at our home and then a problem we ran into with an underground leak issue a little more than a year ago. It was last May, I believe. We had Wilson Brothers Plumbing come out, and that's something I get asked. Hey, you talking about Wilson Brothers Plumbing, have you used Wilson Brothers? Yes, and we had a great experience with them coming out. Like last year is a pretty big deal. We had the underground leak. It was a problem that we needed repaired as quickly as possible. They told us what was going on. They gave us an upfront price of what it would cost to fix the problem, and then they updated us along the way, all the way until the end when they were done with the cleanup, and everything was done as promised. Visit WilsonBrothersPlumbing.com to learn more or to schedule service. That's WilsonBrothersPlumbing.com. Wilson Brothers, the proof is in the plumbing.
This has been a paid announcement.
Summer is officially here, and if you want to be cooking in a new kitchen by the time company is coming over for the holidays, then now's the time to get started. Hey, this is Heather Harrington for Kitchen Sales. It's hard to put into words how much absolute joy our kitchen renovation has brought us. The team at Kitchen Sales completely outdid themselves. They made suggestions to knock out some walls and actually start using a formal dining room that was dead space before. And by doing an open concept kitchen, we also had the space for a new 11 by 4 foot island. We took our little bitty island and juiced it up as big as we could, and I doubled the storage in my kitchen. And it's really pretty. I can be cooking dinner while my kids are doing homework or playing with Play-Doh, and everybody's got enough space. It's seriously time for you to see what Kitchen Sales can do for your home. They've got 2 great locations, Hoyt Avenue in downtown just off Cherry Street, or in the Town and Country Circle near Best Buy in West Knoxville. And you can always find them online at kitchensales.net.
This has been a paid announcement.
It's Nico time in Tennessee. That's right, ball fans. Get ready for the most hard-hitting, electrifying, play-making deals in real estate you've ever seen. Oh, wait. I should probably clarify. I'm Nick Nico, spelled N-I-C-A-U-D, with the Nick Nico team at Keller Williams. If you're looking to be like our Vols in your real estate moves, our Nico team is the hard-hitting, electrifying, play-making team for you. Don't listen to everyone say the market's tough, prices are up, where do I move to? Our team has the market knowledge that we call the Nico know-how. We know the area. Raised right here in Knoxville, I know what moves, so our team just cuts through what everyone else might see as an obstacle. And we turn it into an opportunity. Sell high and buy low on your next dream home with our Nico know-how. Let our team become your team. Check us out online, nicoteam.com. That's N-I-C-A-U-D team.com.
Are you tired of struggling with your gate every time you come home? Say goodbye to the hassle and hello to convenience with Stanley Fencing, your East Tennessee experts and automatic gate operators. From big fencing jobs to cozy backyard setups, they've got you covered. At Stanley Fencing, they take pride in not just building fences, but building lasting relationships with their customers. Because when you choose them, you're not just getting a fence, you're getting a partner for life. Stanley Fencing, where quality and care come together.
You already know that Miller Brothers Auto Repair offers services from transmissions and engines to oil change and routine maintenance. What you may not know is Miller Brothers Collision Center can handle all your collision repair needs. Our certified technicians will make your damaged car look brand new. We accept all insurance. If you bend it, we can mend it. Miller Brothers is located on Tazewell Pike right here in Knoxville, and we're proud supporters of the Tennessee Vols. Call us at 689-5072. That's 689-5072.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
A stray shower or a storm can develop as we have a mix of sun and clouds, but plenty of heat and humidity. High today 98, feels like the low 100s. Southwesterly wind occasionally gusting up to 15 miles per hour. Stirring around a stray shower overnight with a very warm low of 73 degrees. From the WVLT First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Heather Haley.
The minute folks step into Dollywood in my Smoky Mountains, I want them to fill their hearts with all the beautiful things in this big old world. Dollywood, love every moment.
Plan your visit today at Dollywood.com.
Josh and Swain is brought to you by McKeon Law Group. Rebuild your family, regain your freedom, renew your life. Call Jed McKeon and the McKeon Law Group, 294-8008 and attorney-knoxville.com.
All facts, no fluff. Honest, credible sports information from two guys that know the facts. Here's Josh and Swain on The Sports Animal.
Back on Josh and Swain. Thank you for being with us on this Monday afternoon. Hope you had a great weekend. SEC Media Days are underway. 4-day event, 4 teams each day, with Tennessee set to come on Tuesday. We're in Dallas with Texas and Oklahoma coming into the league. We invite you to be a part of the show at 865-656-9900. We'll open up the phone lines in a moment. We also had a text in the text box. Chip asked a question that, Swain, we got at the end of last week a few times, and honestly I didn't get to it because I didn't know the answer, and that's because there isn't one yet. The question being, has the SEC figured out a tiebreaker system to determine who goes to the conference championship game yet with no divisions? No more Eastern Western divisions in the SEC. It's a 16-team league with the top 2 teams going to the SEC title game. But what about a tiebreaker? It's a good question, and we're still waiting on an answer because Greg Sankey was asked about it earlier today. Connor O'Gara asked him if there is a plan for the SEC tiebreaker, and Sankey said there is a, quote, lengthy plan that is centered around 8 principles, but it has not been finalized yet, and he said that they can finalize that anytime between now and the start of the season. So they are still working on the plan. They plan on having that in place, and I would assume announced before games kick off. But to the question of what's the tiebreaker, that's to be announced by the SEC.
Okay. I'm with Greg Sankey. You don't
now,
need
the game's
right
not till December,
yeah,
but I think fans want to know going in. They don't want any shenanigans, which they would assume are going on if they don't get the plan ahead of time.
Well, people want to know, a.k.a. Josh Ward wants to know, because it's good content for this week's list of shows. Did I say that right, Josh? Is it people or is it you that want to know?
Chip in the text box.
Oh, and Chip. So Josh and Chip wants to know.
And Connor, who asked in the media room.
So 3 people. No,
yeah.
I'm just kidding. I think it's important to know right now, for sure. But as long as
Tennessee might be in a tiebreaker situation.
Hopefully we are. If we're not, then hopefully we have won it outright.
They're probably just the 1 seed. What am I talking about?
Yeah, exactly right.
So it's to be determined, but it's July 15th. Games, you need, I'd say, before that August 24th weekend, but if not then, the August 31st Saturday, the full Saturday kickoff of the season, which is now 47 days away from the kickoff to the season. So we're getting closer. And getting closer to a finalized plan, but it's not done yet, according to Greg Sankey, for the tiebreaker. We'll get to the phone lines, 865-656-9900. VFL and former Tennessee wide receiver Jason Swain is here. I'm Josh Ward. We say hello to Doug. Doug, thanks for calling in to Josh and Swain. What's on your mind today?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Doug.
I really don't want to dislike Tennessee at all. I mean, I just moved here. I'm a Texas boy. I'm an OU fan, though. But I'll tell you, the talk that I hear from Tennessee fans and the radio stuff that I hear around here just reminds me of, kind of puts you guys to where Texas and OU is not really scared of the Texas Tech of SEC, which it seems like what Tennessee is. So I'm not worried about that so much. I think from what I'm hearing that I believe Texas and OU are going to give them a good punch in the mouth and show Tennessee what, this type of football really is. So that's my belief.
Swain, what do you think?
I would not be surprised if OU and Tennessee punches Tennessee in the mouth. I wouldn't be surprised at all. OU's a really good football program with really good players. They have access to really good players. They have for a very long time. Texas, no different there. They're a really good team, positioned a little bit better than OU because of their current roster and the coaching staff. But you said that you don't want to dislike Tennessee. Well, you might as well just dislike Tennessee, because that's the way we do it here in the SEC. We don't like each other.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, Doug.
Yeah, we don't like each other, Doug.
Yeah, I don't think you have to apologize for it.
You sound like you're a nice guy, Doug. like the cartoon Doug Funny. You sound nice, like Doug Funny.
That's it. That's it. Hey, one other thing. Hey, you can't disrespect Texas, though. Texas is a Lone Star state, not the Tri-Star state.
No, I can
They're
disrespect
the number
Texas.
one.
And I'm going to disrespect Texas.
Tennessee didn't save Texas from Mexico. They partnered up with them. So, they did that because they knew Texas was the greatest state in the daggum country. So, what flag flies as high as the United States? Is that Tennessee's flag or Texas' flag?
Well, if Texas was so great, they would have fought their own damn fight. And I need Tennessee. How about that?
No, everyone saw that and they said, "Hey, I want part of Texas. I'm gonna be part of something great like that."
Oh, okay. That's your story, Doug. Okay, I'll let you stick to it.
I love it. See, this is the welcoming. This is not hazing. This is the welcoming to the SEC we need. The back and forth between the proud programs and the proud states. This is what we're looking for.
Yeah, this is how we do it here in the SEC, Doug. We don't come down and talk
good.
about I really don't want to dislike you. I kind of want to like you. No. We don't want to like you, and we don't want you to like us. That's what makes it better, Doug.
Yeah.
Hey,
you're going to
I
love
competitiveness.
You'll love the hate. That's what it's about.
That's right.
There you go.
Hey, Doug, thanks for calling in. We appreciate it. It's good to hear from you, and maybe we'll talk to you again before Tennessee and OU kick off a few weeks into the season.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Doug.
Yes, sir.
Now, Doug, I don't know about that Texas Tech of the SEC. I thought that was a really low blow. I thought that was way beyond the belt. There was no need for that, Doug. No need for that.
Keep it high? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You don't need to go down there?
That was low, man. That was low. I know we had a rough 10, 15 years, whatever you want to say, but Texas Tech, come on, man. They haven't won anything ever. We won something, it was a while ago, but goodness gracious, Texas Tech, that's a low blow.
It was a cheap shot.
That was a cheap shot, Doug.
Yep.
That's your freebie. That was your one freebie, Doug.
Yep, in the text box, keep that soundbite for receipts. All right, note it. Segment 3 of day 1 at SEC Football Media Day, Swain, we have the receipt of Doug with his Texas Tech shot at the Vols.
He was an OU fan from Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So representing both sides coming into the league. I do think that OU has been disrespected a little bit coming in. It seemed to be more conversation about Texas coming in, as in some ways there's a little, OU's coming in too, when OU has done as much to be proud of on the football side, even more so than Texas. Texas's regular season stumbling block last year was here in Dallas against Oklahoma.
Yeah, OU over the last 10, 15, 20 years, they've been better than Texas. They've put players in the NFL. They've had more stability with their coaches. They competed for championships. They've had more notable draft picks. They had a run where they had quarterbacks going first overall. But we are a prisoner of the moment. It's about what have you done for me lately. And Texas football, they've been better lately. And I think it speaks to the brand of Texas, because they just got good yesterday. And we're over here acting like they've been winning games and winning championships like Alabama over the last 10, 15 years. So I think that just speaks to how notable the brand is, how strong that brand is, which is why they made a run at the Bighorn or the Longhorn Network, because they felt like they can do it because of their brand name. OU they've been more successful. They have been.
Also, Doug saying that Tennessee wanted to join up with Texas to be a part of that fight. That's some revisionist history right there.
Is that on Wikipedia? Did Doug edit the Wikipedia before calling in?
We'll check the update. Yeah, there might be some updated, edited information.
GPT, so.
Welcome to the league. 16 strong is the SEC with Texas and Oklahoma coming in ready to fight themselves. We'll come back, 865-656-9900 if you'd like to join the conversation. As he goes to Norman, Oklahoma to open up SEC play this season. We'll talk more about it. We'll talk to Jim Nagy from the Senior Bowl at the start of the 1 o'clock hour, see what he thinks about Tennessee's roster, the talent that he's keeping an eye on heading into this upcoming season. We'll continue on Josh and Swain.
Listening to us on the air. Free. Listening on the app. Free. Listening on our website. Free. No subscription required. Just free sports talk.
The pitch. Swing and a miss. That's the ball game. How about that? The climb is complete. They have reached the summit. The Volunteers are the very best in college baseball. And the championship flag has been planted on Rocky Top.
You're listening to the radio flagship station for the 2024 College Baseball World Series champion Tennessee Volunteers. This is 99.1 The Sports Animal.
Mom, it's school shopping time.
On it. Ooh, Target has select supplies like crayons and glue sticks for 25 cents, plus markers for 50 cents.
Next, my new Rockstar vibe means new clothes.
Ooh, totally. These graphic tees are $6 and made to last.
And a strawberry lunch bag to match my sweet personality.
Got it, and it's only $5. Let's get your favorite Good and Gather snacks. They're now at a new lower price.
Best team ever.
When it comes to low prices, Target has your back to school.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk.
Life hack.
Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select the new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher end auto pay enrollment. $25 a month service credit applied for up to 12 months if eligibility requirements are met. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
Let me ask you a question. How much do you do on your smartphone on a daily basis? You reply to emails, you send text messages. I'm sure you check social media. You probably use the GPS, probably order from your favorite restaurant to make sure it's at your doorstep. What if I told you you had the power of knowing what's happening in your home, even when you're not at home? Making sure your home is nice and toasty during the winter, nice and cool during the summer. With the latest in technology from Fleener Security, you have the world in your phone with one touch with the Total Connect app. FleenerSecurity.com or 544-9964.
Is arthritic joint pain keeping you from doing things that you love? Do you have bone-on-bone pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder? This is Ainge with QC Kinetics, and this exciting new cellular therapy that they're doing at QC Kinetics gives you lasting relief, and they're helping patients like you every day. They're the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. I'm talking cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. Tens of thousands of patients around the country. If you're living with that chronic pain from arthritis or injury, you need to know that steroid surgery and pain pills are no longer your only options, and this has zero downtime. Learn how QC Kinetics can treat the pain, enhance your joints, restore your mobility with long-term relief with no downtime. Again, regenerative, restorative cellular treatments for those achy joints. The future of medicine is at QC Kinetics, and call today for your free consultation. 865-238-4799. 2 locations in Farragut and Powell. 865-238-4799. 865-238-4799.
This has been a paid advertisement. Hi, I'm your annoying debt that follows you around everywhere, ruining your life. Like when you hope to finance that car, not approved. Paying for dinner with a credit card in front of friends, embarrassingly declined. Bills piling up, harassing creditors, and you can't pay me off because the interest is so high, you can barely make the minimum. So what are you going to do? You're stuck with me. Give me your best shot.
Got debt? Knock out annoying debt with a loan from Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union. Now through September 30th, get up to $500 to refinance your existing debt with us. Visit atfcu.com for details. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, your less red tape banking alternative, a place where you belong.
Join the team at the YMCA of East Tennessee, where work is play. Whether you love sports, fitness, swimming, or working with kids, bring your passion to their mission at the Y. Positions include opportunity for benefits, including insurance, paid time off, a free Y membership, and a $500 sign-on bonus. From part-time jobs to lifelong careers, your work at the Y will help strengthen the foundations of our community. Apply online at ymcaknoxville.org/careers.
It's Home Run Derby Day.
I'm Kate Constable, here to help you beat the books with BetQL. The field is set for tonight's home run derby, from favorite Pete Alonso at plus 310 to long shot Alec Boehm at 16-1. BetQL has all the insights you need to know before making your derby bets. I'm Kate Constable. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
From the Budweiser studios of The Sports Animal, we are 99.1 The Sports Animal.
Back on Josh and Swain. Day one of SEC Football Media Days. Thank you for being with us. Swain, we got a text from Chase who said, when your school has been around 50 years longer than you've ever been a state, which is something Tennesseans or University of Tennessee fans are proud to bring up. Another one, correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't the real UT have more national championships than OU and UT Junior combined? If Texas is such a great state, then why is Doug, our caller from last segment, in Tennessee? Some of the pushback from Doug's call last segment. OU fan from Texas, now in Tennessee, with some fighting words for the Vols.
I mean, I love my time in Texas. When I went to San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, Austin, loved every trip, every city. So I don't have anything but love towards Texas. But, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, hey, you in Tennessee? You in Tennessee? I didn't know which team he was claiming at first, man. I didn't know if it was Oklahoma or Texas, because he's kind of representing both of them. That's something that and I thought Oklahoma and Texas hated each other. It didn't really sound like it from Doug's call. It sounded like a lot of love between the two schools.
Yeah, now Oklahoma does claim 7 football national championships, so that would be a pushback on the OU-Texas combined national title conversation. OU, from a football standpoint, its history is right up there with the best of the best, as Tennessee is in that conversation as well. But OU's football history, recent and long-term, is rich. It's very rich with what that program has accomplished.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything about OU's history. I mean, you go – and fans will get a chance to see this when we play them and our fans go out to Norman. But you're going to see all the statues of the Heisman Trophy winners. You're going to see all the history. It's rich. So no shade from me at all. My shade is about today, about playing against OU this year. I don't think I'm in any place to be talking with how Tennessee's been looking the last 10, 15 years. Man, we've looked like hot garbage. We just now got good, so I'm going to hold off and wait till we win a little bit more.
Yeah, go settle it on the field. And Tennessee's first crack at Oklahoma will be in Norman. They'll play a home-and-home the next 2 seasons. So they were set to do that a few years ago. They did in 14-15. That went Oklahoma's way. Tennessee lost a narrow one in 15. Was a great game, great atmosphere. Tennessee will try to get the win back to its side in Norman coming up September 21st. So that is a big part of the conversation. That'll be the SEC opener for both sides. Did you like the shade of gray with the new uniforms that were announced this past weekend by Tennessee?
The shade of gray?
The gray and the look. You got the patch with the TriStar on the side. I've seen differing opinions on Tennessee being across the chest on the uniform, but with the smoky gray uniform announcement by Tennessee.
I've never been a fan of letters across the chest on a football jersey. Never been a fan of it. And that doesn't change here. I think all the detail, the fine detail with the uniform, highlighting the state of Tennessee, I thought was really, really cool. but I'm not a big fan of the Tennessee across the chest. It says Power T. It's a Power T on it, and then it says Tennessee underneath. I know what the Power T means. It means Tennessee. I just thought it was a little redundant to put Tennessee across the chest. But, hey, it's just for 1 year. This is a Smoky Gray series. Last year's Smoky Gray I wasn't a big fan of because I thought we were trying to be slick with highlighting Condris Holloway when Condris Holloway didn't wear gray with the orange shoulder pads. But I don't have to 100% like it. I respect it. I want the players to like it and play hard and go out there and win. I do like that we're being creative and doing this Smoky Gray series. But if you ask me if I'm a big fan of it, I'll say I'm indifferent. I'm just not a big fan of the Tennessee across the chest, but I do like all the rest of it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think we have the same mindset with the Power T. The Power T itself is what says Tennessee. That's the power of the brand.
Yeah,
with that logo.
Power T. When you have a Power T, you don't need to say Tennessee. That's how I feel.
Okay. I think most fans were excited about it. I think you and I probably had a similar thought when we saw it this past weekend. Then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about a new uniform. I'm excited about everyone else being super excited. Our fans and players, the players are the ones who are wearing it. So if they're fired up about it, cool. But if you're asking me just, all right, Swain, give me your opinion on the entire jersey, that's my opinion. I like everything except for the Tennessee across the chest.
Another text comes in. You're from Texas, but you live in Tennessee. Enough said. So, Swain, that is my favorite takeaway from hour number one, Doug's call, which I genuinely appreciated. I appreciate that he came in firing. The Texas Tech shot, I think we both agree as well, a little bit below the belt. But, hey, look, if you're going to go throw punches, throw them hard. And he did that. So that makes me more excited for the OU-Texas arrival as opposed to, like, we got which they should be doing. Greg said he is excited about OU and Texas, but it was a celebration of them coming in. Tennessee fans and LSU fans and Florida and Alabama keep on going. Their approach is going to be different, just like OU and Texas fans. It's not going to be a big group hug coming in. They're going to go play games on the field, and they're going to hate each other.
Yeah, I mean, Texas celebrating like they won a championship, OU celebrating like they won a championship. The rest of us, we just can't wait to get our hands on them and show them what it's like to play in this conference year in and year out. Those guys have been able to benefit from playing a weak schedule, basically playing each other. Oklahoma State has been good here and there, but we're going to show you what it's like to play in this conference. And you can call us Texas Tech of the SEC, but we'll see. When you got to play us, and you got to play some of the other teams inside of this conference, and it's physical, and then you may lose one game, and then the next game you lose that one too, because the first loss caused you to lose the second one because you're so beat up physically. That's what the SEC does to you.
We will talk more about Texas and Oklahoma coming into the league. We will come back and talk about the talent that Tennessee has. Jim Nagy of the Senior Bowl, he's the executive director, has been a great friend of the program. He will join us to begin hour number 2. We have 2 hours to go. More Tennessee conversation. The start of SEC football media days is underway with 4 teams here each day over the next 4 days in Dallas. As we continue the conversation with VFL, Jason Swain, I'm Josh Ward on Josh and Swain.
It's kickoff time, and Believe podcasts are here to get you ready for the season.
He wanted to change the culture, and he wanted me to be a part of that.
With Believe, you get immediate reactions, game previews, and expert analysis from all 32 teams, plus all of your favorite college teams.
He's just rare in just about everything he does.
Sideline to sideline, end zone to end zone.
This was good for everybody.
Just search Believe. That's BLEAV podcast, wherever you listen.
Hey, it's Josh. I want to tell you about Fort Sanders Health and Fitness Center. We took the kids swimming at the outdoor pool this past weekend. Went there on Saturday. Ran into a couple who had brought their daughter swimming, and we were talking about how great Fort Sanders Health and Fitness Center has been for our kids to develop their swim skills. They're able to go swimming 12 months out of the year thanks to the indoor pool, plus the outdoor pool is available. Whatever you're looking for your fitness goals, if you are looking for access to a pool throughout the year, if you're looking for some classes that you can join to kind of help guide you with what you're trying to get done from a health standpoint, they have about 85 group fitness classes that take place every week at Fort Sanders. That's included in your membership. A family membership includes complimentary childcare. You have access to a top-of-the-line facility, great people that are in place, always taking care of it, and there to help you. Whatever you need, they'll help you with it, and no long-term contracts when you sign up. Stop by, tell them the Sports Animal sent you to Fort Sanders Health and Fitness Center.
This has been a paid announcement.
Morgan Wallen Live. One night at a time, 2024. September 22nd at Neyland Stadium with special guests Hardy and Ernest. I need something you prove. Morgan Wallen. I'ma need some whiskey glasses. On sale Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern at livenation.com.
Summertime is here, and Saturday, July 27th, first time ever, a limited number of lake lots are being released. 2-acre wooded lots with boat slips from $79.9. Lake cottage package with boat slip only $349.9. Pickleball, pools, new clubhouse, on-site coffee shop, hiking trails, and more. Call for your private tour. Appointments are limited. Celebrate lake life and make memories. Limited property release Saturday, July 27th. Call 865-408-9992 or visit lakelivingtn.com. Memories start here.
Good old East Tennessee, we know family, hard work, and helping your neighbors still means a lot. I'm Nick Whitehead with Whitehead Auto Sales in Alcoa and Knoxville. Our family-owned and operated business is celebrating our 20-year anniversary. Our pillars are those three items: family, hard work, and helping your neighbor. Experience the difference of why we've been voted #1 in Blount County for years now, and why we've expanded to Chapman Highway to help even more. Visit whiteheadautosales.com or come shake our hands for a deal you can't find anywhere else. 20 years from our family to yours at Whitehead Auto Sales.
Are you tired of yelling over your loud ceiling or floor fans? Or is your old AC unit blowing out unbearable warm air? Then you should turn to the heating and cooling experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, voted one of Knoxville's best HVAC companies 7 years in a row. To beat the heat, it's crucial to have your air conditioning system in top condition to keep your family comfortable and safe. Pipe Wrench proudly installs and services York branded AC systems, along with other major HVAC brands you know and trust. We also offer repairs and preventative maintenance to identify and correct smaller issues before they become costly problems. We make it easy with free on-site estimates and free second opinions on repairs and replacements. And if budgets are tight this summer, we also offer 0% financing on new systems with no payments for up to 12 months with approved credit. Be sure to ask about our 10-year warranty on parts and labor. You won't spend an extra cent on unexpected costs. So call Pipe Wrench today at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
This is WNML-FM Friendsville, WNML-AM Knoxville, Cumulus Media Stations, broadcasting worldwide from the Budweiser Studios. We are 99.1 The Sports Animal.
This is Andrew Perloff with a Sports Minute, sponsored by Wrangler. It's Wrangler season out there. Open roads, endless horizons. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles. Retirement is never easy, but Novak Djokovic has to be thinking about it after losing the Wimbledon final to Carlos Alcaraz in straight sets. Djokovic is 37, Alcaraz 21. Joker can't beat him now. It's not going to get easier. His place in history is secure. He has to ask himself, what else is there to prove? I'm Andrew Perloff.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
DQ presents Picture This. Picture the DQ freezer, home to all the Blizzard flavors of the past. Picture it opening to bring back the salted caramel truffle blizzard for a limited time. Picture that salted caramel truffle blizzard in your hands. It's all yours. No, really, it's all yours. This treat is too good to share. Everyone will have to get one for themselves. Hurry in to get this flavor before the DQ freezer closes. DQ, happy tastes good.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Josh and Swain is brought to you by McKeon Law Group, East Tennessee's #1 family law and divorce attorney group. Call Jed McKeon and the McKeon Law Group to help your family in their hardest times. 294-8008 and attorney-knoxville.com.
Welcome into hour number 2 of Josh and Swain. Thank you for being with us. Alongside VFL former Tennessee wide receiver Jason Swain, I'm Josh Ward, and we continue with SEC Football Media Days coverage. Beginning hour number 2, welcoming to the show the executive director of the Senior Bowl, Jim Nagy, sits down with us. Jim, it's good to see you again. How are you today?
Yeah, good to be here, man. Good to see you again.
So we kind of talk about this is the kickoff to the season. We start really diving into what's going to happen. But your season really never ends. You just transition from the Senior Bowl to preparing for next year's class and evaluating players probably as quickly as you can.
We do. Our staff actually started watching this year's group back in January because once we have the game set for that year, there's no sense spinning our wheels keep watching those guys. So we've been moved on. I'm still playing a lot of catch up. I've been doing a lot on the business side of our operation with sponsorships and stuff. So I'm way behind on tape. But we're going to be putting out our watch list on August 21st, which is a big deal for us. Gets a lot of traction. And we're going to have over 700 players on that thing this year because it's the last year of the extra COVID year for the players. So kind of a bloated list. I don't love having that many guys on it, but yeah, it's going to be a big draft class this year.
Yeah, what has that done to the depth of talent? These extra, like Tennessee's bringing back an eighth-year senior in Keenan Peely, and then Cooper Mays. He was on your list a year ago, but he decided to play another season of college football.
A bunch of these guys, Brew McCoy. I mean, most of these guys we looked at last year. Spragans. I mean, I feel like all of them we watched a year ago. It's what it's done. It's going to make for a really deep draft. So far, what I would say the takeaways from this year's class are, like, I don't think it's going to be great up top. I think it's going to be a bottom-heavy draft. Like, a lot of the guys you're seeing in mock first-round drafts right now, we've graded. They're not first-round picks. I'm not saying they can't get there, not saying because they do get better. They have another year in the weight room and working with the coaching staffs and whatnot. But if we drafted today, I don't think many teams would have first-round grades on many players in this draft. But last year, like, we had a lot of day 3 guys go back to school. So I think day 3 is going to be loaded. I think you're going to see a lot of guys rounds 5 through 7 make football teams a year from now, make 53-man rosters. But again, I don't think high end. There's a lot of high end talent in this year's draft.
Jim, we've seen Tennessee be successful offensively with Josh Heupel and his system and what he's been able to do so far. We've also experienced opposing fan bases and coaches try to knock the offensive system for recruiting purposes. What are the scouts looking at to see, all right, these players are playing Heupel's offense. Does it translate to the next level? What are they looking at?
Well, first and foremost, Coach Heupel doesn't have to be concerned about, what carries over and what doesn't. And but negative recruiting happens. They talk about coaches. I mean, Saban said it as he was leaving Alabama. He said, you know what, like this year-to-year thing with how long am I going to coach, like schools started to use that against us. So, there's questions. Is it apples to apples, like going from that system to the NFL playing quarterback? No, it's not. But there's you'd say that for a lot of college systems. So, when I look at the quarterback position, you can throw away about 85 to 90% of the throws in college anyway. And all you're looking is for the chaos throws, that when the pockets, scrambled and guys got to get out, move, slide, and then if they're throwing into tight windows. I mean, you look at some of these college offenses, most of the time these receivers are running wide open. So you're looking at the throws where they got to fit it in a tight space. So again, I don't care what system they're playing in college. I mean, you're really boiling it down to those situations. It's really situational football. What do they do on 3rd and long? What do they do in red zone? That's going to happen. You have success like they've had at Tennessee. Opposing teams are going to try to find ways to knock you on the recruiting trail. So, again, I don't think Coach Heupel needs to be worried about any of that. I'm sure he's not.
We're talking to Jim Nagy. He's the executive director of the Senior Bowl, sitting down with us at SEC Media Days. It's the Senior Bowl. You're now inviting underclassmen.
Juniors.
Yeah. So James Pierce Jr., he's a guy that he's got 1 year left, and then he's going to go to the draft. What do you see from him from a talent standpoint? What do you maybe want to see next in his probably final year of college football?
Yeah, it's last year was the first year we could bring any junior. Before that it was it's guys that had graduated. So it's good for our game. I mean, it helped us last year. We had 110 players drafted, which was our best year we've had. It was 43% of last year's entire draft class played in our game. So it helped, and it's helped on the high end. We had 10 first-round picks, and and all that. So James is back to James and not hyping up our game, but no, he's a high end athlete. He's a really good athlete. He's loose. He's athletic to play off the ball linebacker. He's a little bit of a tweener, and I haven't seen his body type. I look forward to seeing him this fall and see what he really looks like when you get up on him physically. And but really good athlete, explosive, fast, really cool mover. So he's similar to Harold Perkins, who's the guy who just walked past us a second ago from LSU. Those guys are pretty similar in my mind. So anytime you can get to the quarterback, you're going to get looked at heavily from the NFL. So, he's going to be one of those guys starting off the year that everyone's going to be looking at.
Do you have a trip planned to Knoxville again? I know in the past you've been here, talked to the team, and I'm pretty sure that's been really beneficial for the players.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I do or not. We're hiring a scout. We haven't announced our scouting staff, but we're going to have a scout in Knoxville this year. He's a guy that's been with the New England Patriots the last 4 or 5, 6 years. So we'll have someone right there. So we'll have a presence at a lot of games. He'll be seeing a lot of games, doing a lot of SEC teams out of Knoxville. So we will have a presence at a ton of games. Not sure if I'm going to get up there because, again, we don't have quite the budget that these NFL teams do. We got to watch our pennies a little bit of where we're going. But it's going to be great having someone right there in your backyard.
Has Tennessee's increased success in recent years, is that part of the reason? Have you seen more talent come into the program to make it worthwhile to have a scout in Knoxville?
Well, it just worked out that way. So, we hire our staff every year with guys that were in the NFL. And so we reshuffle the deck almost every year. And this individual just got let go by the Patriots this past year in kind of a regime change. And, my dad was a high school coach. So when I wanted to get into scouting, he said, Jim, you work in football long enough, you're going to lose your job. Like, that just happens. I mean, I got caught up in a regime change in Kansas City and ended up in Seattle was my next job. But, I mean, that's what happened to this guy. So he's a good scout. He's got a great reputation. But when a new GM comes in, they want to bring in their own people. So, he reached out to me, and I knew about him. I got some friends up in New England that spoke really highly. So we are really excited to have him on board.
Jim Nagy is with us. He's the executive director of the Senior Bowl. To Swain asking about the offense and how players are evaluated. They have a newcomer in Chris Brazzell. So you mentioned Brew McCoy if you wanted to add thoughts on him. But Brazzell coming in as a transfer, stepping up in level of competition in the SEC. Thoughts there too? Yeah,
if Brew wouldn't have gotten hurt, he probably would have had an invite to our game last year. All of our wide receivers got picked except for one. So, I mean, that tells you what we thought of him. I mean, he was certainly a draftable guy. We love his game. He's big. He's physical. Love the skill set. So hopefully he comes back and he's healthy. And then the Tulane player, Brazzell, I was at like 3 games last year. We had their quarterback Michael Pratt in our game. We had one of the receivers, Jaquan Jackson, who the Titans picked. And Brazzell lit it up in a couple of games I was at. So that was a good ad for those guys. I'll be really curious to see what it looks like now in an SEC football field.
When you look at the NFL draft and you have a quarterback-heavy draft like we just had, is it safe to say the next year it's an opportunity for a defensive player to be maybe selected first overall?
Yeah. I mean, you look at this year's draft, not just having 6 quarterbacks go in the top 12 knocks a lot of good defensive players down. The first defensive player picked this year was at 15 overall to the Indianapolis Colts. Leatu Latu is a guy we had in the Senior Bowl. So, I mean, it's crazy. The first 14 picks were offensive players. So, yeah, I wouldn't expect that to happen again this year. I think we'll see it'll probably be a little more defensive heavy up top. But, yeah, I would think so. I think there's going to be a good chance. There's a corner at Michigan who's Will Johnson's a really good player. Not to be long-winded, I would think there would be a couple defensive guys up top.
Jim, what is Oklahoma and Texas bringing in immediately from a talent standpoint? When you look at those two teams, two proud programs, right? What do you see with those two teams right now?
Yeah, both really talented. I think you start at Texas. It's too bad they lost Byron Murphy and Tavondre Sweat to the National Football League because that would have helped their transition into this league, a bigger, more physical league in the trenches. They would have they could. You ask Coach Sark, they could have used those two guys this year, making the move to this league, but. You start with Quinn Ewers, but they've got good skill people. Isaiah Bond was a big transfer they got from Alabama. That guy can play. So they're going to be good offensively. Defensively, they lost some pieces. They got a bunch of young guys playing, so we'll see what that looks like. And then Oklahoma, they're always good on the offensive line. We've had 1 million of their offensive linemen in the Senior Bowl. but they're young as well. They got a couple defensive players. I mean, really the linebacker, and I'm blanking on his name. He's going to be here at the SEC Media Days this week. Really good player. I'm thinking of Bowman, their safety. Billy Bowman's a really good player.
Stutzman's coming.
Yeah,
Danny
Stutzman. Yeah, gosh, I was just talking to his agent the other day. So they've got some pieces on defense. I would say Texas on offense, Oklahoma on defense when it comes to the draft. But now that they're in this league, they're going to be able to recruit, more in the SEC footprint, get more SEC guys from the Mississippis, Louisiana, Alabama, Florida, Georgia. They're going to be able to come in the SEC backyard and take players. So it'll only get better for those schools.
With the transfer portal, you just mentioned speaking to one of the players' agents, and they're already in college. It's just kind of weird to kind of get used to that. But when you are evaluating the character of a player, the players that are hitting the portal and team hopping, does that impact their draft status at all?
Jason, that's a good question. I get asked that a lot. Like, what's the impact of transfer portal and NIL? Like, for the portal, it's actually made the NFL's job a little easier, because now rather than going into a school and only having like one building full of people that know these players, now you in most cases two or three. I mean, hopefully not three. Hopefully you're not transferring a couple times. One transfer is fine. I think we all understand why guys transfer nowadays, but now you just got more sources. You got more people to talk to, so and that helps you figure the players out. So from the NFL's perspective, it's certainly not a bad thing. It's like that you know more about their character, and then you actually know more about them on the field too, because a lot of times guys are transferring to get in a new situation, getting a new offense, getting a new defense, be used differently. So you've probably seen guys do more on a football field than you would if they were just locked into one program, one scheme for 4 years.
Man, that's interesting. Jim Nagy, we'll get you out of here, but I want to ask you about one more Tennessee guy, Omar Norman-Lott. He's another player that he could have gone, decided to come back for one more year. What do you think about him, and then how does that affect how you evaluate Tennessee's defensive line with him coming back and James Pierce, who we talked about earlier?
Yeah, he's a guy we really liked last year. Again, we've done a lot of work on these guys, and the hard part last year was like a lot of guys went back. Guys we were hoping to get in last year's game. So yeah, Norman Lott's a good player. It's going to be a better D-line class than last year. And last year's class was pretty good. We had a couple first-round defensive linemen. I think we had 3 D linemen go in the first round, but this is a deep group. Across the board, SEC's got a bunch of them, as they always do. But Norman Lott's a guy that we liked a year ago, and again, he should come back better. So we're excited to see him.
Anything you want to plug? You started to plug and then got away from it with the Senior Bowl. Plug away.
No, all we can plug is our numbers, right? Like, that's why everyone asks, like, before the draft, like, how'd you guys do this year? I'm like, well, we'll see on draft day. That's really how because that's all you can tell these players is how many guys you had picked. So to us, the key now, we had 45 of the top 100 players. So it's one thing to have guys drafted. It's another to have them drafted up high. We want star power on our game. We want difference makers in our game, and we're able to get that. We've been able to get that the last few years. So hopefully this thing just keeps building on itself.
Well, Jim, we always appreciate the time you give us. Always love talking football with you. Thank you for sitting down with us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me back on. It's always great.
Jim Nagy, he is the executive director of the Senior Bowl. Good breakdown on Tennessee's players, some of the competition Tennessee will see in the SEC as well. We'll continue the conversation around it. We continue right here at SEC Football Media Days on Josh and Swain.
Everything is more expensive than ever before. Well, except for the sports animal. Always free on the air and on the stream. Always. 99.1 The Sports Animal.
Elevate your products today with Native Nursery, now open to contractors and landscapers. We're your one-stop destination, offering quality wholesale plants, trees, and landscaping materials. We'll even take your leaves and hardscape waste for a low flat rate. If you're a contractor or landscaper, make Native Nursery your go-to location today.
Call or come by and see Ben and Ted. 865-315-0123 and 3473 Louisville Road. 5 minutes from Pellissippi off the Topside Road exit.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Nowadays, it seems like nothing is built to last. Phones, appliances, cars. But Fleet Tire has the new Michelin Defender 2 tire that's designed to outlast. With a quiet and comfortable ride, you'll have the confidence you need on the roads, whether they're wet or dry. Say goodbye to short-lived and hello to something that lasts. Visit Fleet Tire to find the right Michelin tire for whatever you drive. And get a premium tire with premium service at Fleet Tire. Exit 1B off 275 on East Woodland Avenue.
It's Nico time in Tennessee. That's right, ball fans. Get ready for the most hard-hitting, electrifying, play-making deals in real estate you've ever seen. Oh, wait. I should probably clarify. I'm Nick Nico, spelled N-I-C-A-U-D, with the Nick Nico team at Keller Williams. If you're looking to be like our Vols in your real estate moves, our Nico team is the hard-hitting, electrifying, play-making team for you. Don't listen to everyone say the market's tough, prices are up, where do I move to? Our team has the market knowledge that we call the Nico know-how. We know the area. Raised right here in Knoxville, I know what moves, so our team just cuts through what everyone else might see as an obstacle. And we turn it into an opportunity. Sell high and buy low on your next dream home with our Nico know-how. Let our team become your team. Check us out online, nicoteam.com. That's N-I-C-A-U-D team.com.
Join Tyler and Will this Wednesday at Whitehead Auto Sales, 151 South Hall Road in Alcoa. Voted #1 in Blount County for 4 years straight with 2 locations and unbeatable deals galore. Hear about SEC Media Days live and in person in Alcoa this Wednesday with Tyler and Will.
Let's see, landscapers I can afford. All right, searching affordable landscapers near me. Here we go.
Right here, sir. How can we help?
It's the same ones I saw last time.
Sir, we're right here and reasonably priced. Why is he not seeing us?
It looks like the ugly yard stays.
Sir, can you not see us?
Nope, he can't see you because you're buried deep in the list of local landscapers. You're invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost. Get found. Get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
Johnson, our CFO needs some info for the IPO ASAP.
No problem, boss. Just search the web. Cumulus Digital has helped our SEO big time.
Speaking, Miss Johnson.
Search engine optimization.
SEO, huh? That's A-OK.
Cumulus Digital.
Hey, this is Vol for Life Troy Fleming. We're counting it down. It's just
47 days until
it's football time in Tennessee.
This countdown to kickoff is brought to you by Knoxville TVA Employees Credit Union. People helping people since 1934.
Welcome back into Josh and Swain. Thanks for being with us. VFL and former Tennessee wide receiver Jason Swain is here. I'm Josh Ward. We continue our coverage in Dallas. We are live all week long in Dallas with SEC Football Media Days underway. It's a 4-day event. Tennessee will be here tomorrow. Each team brings a head coach and 3 players. Today, LSU, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, and Ole Miss are here. Tennessee will be a part of the party tomorrow with Josh Heupel coming, bringing offensive lineman Cooper Mays, defensive lineman Amari Thomas, and linebacker Keenan Peely. You can join us by calling or texting at 865-656-9900. And last segment, Swain, we talked to Jim Nagy of the Senior Bowl. There are more Tennessee players to talk about with Jim, and his job is to evaluate for the next level, guys that are looking to go on and play in the NFL. I think we have more players to talk about this year with him than we have in many years recently. There have been some good players to talk about with Jim, but there were a lot, I felt like, last segment. Part of that is what he mentioned, guys who had an extra year of eligibility that could have gone into the Senior Bowl last year and came back for one more year, but that's something that could help Tennessee. And then, obviously, the Vols are recruiting at a level where they hope more players in the future will have Senior Bowl and NFL draft chances too.
Yeah, the numbers usually line up. If you have health on your side, you have competent coaching, the amount of NFL prospects you have on your roster usually lines up with the amount of wins that you have that season. You look at 2022, and Tennessee had a lot of guys drafted. Well, Tennessee finished number 6 in the country. Had an opportunity to go to the college football playoff if it wasn't for injury to Hendon Hooker and a bad performance against South Carolina. We're certainly there in the hunt. And then you look at last year, and that was a big step back from a win-loss record standpoint. And then go look at the draft. Look at the amount of guys we had drafted. Well, look at this year and the amount of players are being talked about by guys like Jim Nagy. And there's about, 6, 7, 8 guys that have opportunity to get drafted. Well, that should line up with the record. And now I'm still going to say 9 wins, but don't be surprised if it's higher.
Yeah, the Oklahoma game is just so huge. That's been part of our conversation today and will be for another 2 months before that game is played. But that's a huge game where the rosters probably are close. Now, we'll talk about matchups because Tennessee's defensive line goes in with an advantage, it would seem on paper, with Oklahoma's offensive line. Now, they have personnel with talent, but putting an offensive line together and having them play as a unit right away in the SEC, that's a different kind of challenge. Each team has a young quarterback. Nico, I thought, looked better in Tennessee's bowl game than Jackson Arnold did in Oklahoma's, but his talent, I think, is also pretty obvious. So Norman probably has similar conversations to what's happening in Knoxville, and it's a game that could go either way when they open up SEC play against each other. And the winner's going to say, hey, all right, let's go make a run here. The loser's going to have some catching up to do with slim margin of error, obviously, if you're trying to make the playoff.
Yeah, for sure. The winner will have an easier time, opportunity to set themselves up for a special season. But you look at the offensive line for both teams, well, both quarterbacks are mobile. And I remember in 22 with Hendon Hooker, he made the offensive line better. Now, the offensive line was still good because you had Darnell Wright that came into his own and really played like a 5-star. You had other guys having a really good season. And as a group, they were really, really good. But Hendon made them even better because he was mobile. Well, look at that bowl game. As many guys that were out, Nico was still able to make guys miss and make the offensive line look better with all those holes. So I anticipate Nico do the same thing this year.
Yeah, Nico, next year, we'll be asking Jim about him because his plan, I would imagine, is 2 more years at Tennessee and then go on to the NFL. And the Senior Bowl, I'm sure, would love to have him if that's how it works out.
Well, Nico, next year, hopefully you'll be asking him yourself. He'll be there in Atlanta.
In Atlanta for media days.
Yeah, for sure. So no reason to believe that he won't be one of the leaders offensively towards the back half, if not now, towards the back half of the season and really commanding this football team, and then going into next season being the leader of the entire team.
You couldn't get Josh Heupel to bring Nico this year?
I don't think he needs to go this year. I think Cooper needs to go. I think Amari Thomas needs to go. I think Kenny Pili is a nice selection. I don't think Nico should have gone. He would have handled himself well, but there's other guys that are more deserving.
David said he saw us on TV, had to come hang out in the YouTube chat. You can watch us today on YouTube on the 99.1 Sports Animal YouTube channel.
What's up? What's up? Man, it's good to be here. SEC Media Days. That's when you know it's here, Josh. That's when football season unofficially starts, but the moment these guys hit fall camp, which is here another 2.5 weeks or so, that's when football season really starts. Not the games. It's soon they hit the practice field.
And it starts in Dallas this year. Is Texas the last school you want to see win the SEC title this year? To see Texas come in and win it year one?
The last school will always be Alabama, Josh.
Okay.
But I think Texas would be right there, number 2, number 3. I don't want to see Georgia win it. But I remember when Missouri came in, and they came in just beating down the East and competing for, championships. That's not what you want when you are trying to make an argument that the SEC is the best conference and it's tough and it's hard to deal with. You don't want Texas to come in their first year and go run the table and go win the league.
Nobody's going to want that in the league. So, yeah, Alabama's going to hold your number 1 spot. If it's Texas, Georgia, I'm sure you're enjoying this conversation. If it's Texas, Georgia, who do you want to win?
I would rather Texas win than Georgia.
Okay.
Georgia is the biggest threat. They're on the schedule. They are harder to recruit against. They are the bigger threat than Texas. We don't recruit some of the same players as Texas, although we compete against every school in the country.
Yeah, not as often as Georgia.
Not as often as Georgia because we are down there in Atlanta.
Tennessee with a win against Georgia on the recruiting trail this past weekend. Four-star wide receiver Travis Smith.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep. Wide receiver. Yeah, I love that. I love seeing that. So, I don't want to see any other team successful. But if I have to choose between Texas and Georgia, I guess I'll pick Texas.
Nathan asked in the text box, why did the farmer name his horse Wheat?
Why is that?
Because it was a purebred.
Okay.
Welcome back, Jason Swain.
Yeah. Let me go check, see if I got any more vacation time.
Good to be back, I'm sure you're saying. VFL, former Tennessee wide receiver Jason Swain is here. I'm Josh Ward. Join us. Call or text in at 865-656-9900. However you're tuning in on the Sports Animal on AM 640, the Sports Monster. Great to be with you in the Tri-Cities as always. Streaming live, on demand. We appreciate you hanging out with us today as it's day one of SEC Football Media Days. And again, you can join us by calling or texting in at 865-656-9900 as we continue the Tennessee and the SEC football conversation on Josh and Swain.
The Sports Animal Live from SEC Media Days in Dallas is brought to you by allvols.com, your source for tickets and more for your Tennessee Vols. His security. In God we trust, all others we monitor. Miller Brothers Auto Repair and Collision Center. If you bend it, we can mend it. Fieldhouse Social, Tennessee Sports Bar. Fleet Tire. You flat them, we fix them. The McKinnish Law Group. All people are equal before the law. A good attorney is what makes the difference. Visit McKinnishLaw.com. Bragg Weight Loss and Wellness. Join today and start living your most healthy life. Visit BraggWeightLossAndWellness.com. And Ted Russell Ford. Search their inventory at TedRussellFord.net. You can follow the reporting on air, on the stream, and on our YouTube channel, 991 The Sports Animal.
Hey Knoxville, it's your local State Farm agent, Josh Hemphill. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. Contact the Josh Hemphill team right here in Farragut at 865-675-3999.
The great thing about sports is it never stops. Here's another 60-second sports minute on the Sports Animal.
Tennessee baseball had 4 players selected to the first 2 rounds of the Major League Baseball draft yesterday, marking the most picks to the first 2 rounds of any draft in program history. Second baseman Christian Moore went 8th overall to the Angels early in the first round. First baseman Blake Burke went 34th overall in the competitive balance round to the Milwaukee Brewers. Third baseman Billy Amick went in the second round 60th overall to the Minnesota Twins. And outfielder Dylan Dreiling went to the Rangers at number 65 overall. Couple of major soccer finals on Sunday. Argentina defeated Colombia 1-0 in extra time to win the Copa America. It's Argentina's 16th title in the tournament. In the Euro 2024 final, Spain defeated England 2-1. And in tennis, Carlos Alcaraz swept Novak Djokovic in straight sets to win his second Wimbledon championship. Alcaraz is just the second man in history to win each of his first 4 Grand Slam singles finals appearances. I'm Joel Silverberg.
Every child dreams of being a superhero.
And then I leap into the sky. We fly faster than anything has ever flown before. All the way to the other side of the world, just in time to beat up the bad guys and save the whole entire universe.
And this summer, you can be a superhero too with Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. When you sign up for a new Peace of Mind annual maintenance plan, Pipe Wrench will donate $100 directly to East Tennessee Children's Hospital. With the Peace of Mind maintenance plan, you can safeguard your home from unexpected and costly HVAC and plumbing breakdowns. Annual plans are only $243, but total services are valued at over $1,500 separately. With a Peace of Mind plan, you get HVAC system checks twice a year, water heater and plumbing system checks once a year, 10% automatic discount on repairs, priority appointment bookings, and much more. Help support East Tennessee Children's Hospital with Peace of Mind from Pipe Wrench. Call Pipe Wrench today at 865-264-8090 or visit pipewrench.com to sign up today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
Ask most contractors about a kitchen or bath remodel, and you'll get similar answers.
So how long?
Yeah, about 2 months.
Longer than that.
3 days.
Longer than... Wait a minute, what?
3 days.
3 days?
3 days or less. With 3-day kitchen and bath, you get a new kitchen or bath finished with top quality products and craftsmanship, all in 3 days or less guaranteed.
No eating out because my kitchen is in shambles for a month?
Nope.
No borrowing the neighbor's bathroom for weeks on end?
You'll have a whole new look in 3 days or less.
And those other guys?
They want our web address.
Hey, what's your web address?
See?
A lot of people will.
Just visit 3daykitchen.com. 3daykitchen.com.
3 days?
3 days. Yeah, isn't that something? 3-day kitchen and bath. Simply amazing.
3-day kitchen and bath.
Summertime is here, and Saturday, July 27th, first time ever, a limited number of lake lots are being released. 2-acre wooded lots with boat slips from $79.9. Lake cottage package with boat slip only $349.9. Pickleball, pools, new clubhouse, on-site coffee shop, hiking trails, and more. Call for your private tour. Appointments are limited. Celebrate lake life and make memories. Limited property release Saturday, July 27th. Call 865-408-9992 or visit lakelivingtn.com. Memories start here.
Hey folks, Gerald Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. I'm going to make it short and sweet. Buy any new in-stock Nissan this weekend, and Ted Russell Nissan will add leather seats at no additional cost. Ah, the smell and feel of new leather seats. Only at Ted Russell Nissan, right here on Kingston Pike.
Calling all Vols. The Atlanta Braves are excited to host University of Tennessee Night at Truist Park on Wednesday, August the 7th, when the Braves take on the Brewers. With the UT Ticket Pack, fans will receive a game ticket and a white co-branded Braves UT 24-ounce tumbler. It's the perfect way to rep your teams who know how to win championships. So head to Atlanta on August 7th and join in the fun. Get your tickets at braves.com/Tennessee. Atlanta Braves baseball. Tennessee is Braves country.
They say that good fences make good neighbors. And when it comes to your privacy, Loudoun County Fence is the fencing company East Tennesseans have trusted for over 50 years. Your fence should be durable and stylish. Visit their website at lcfence.com and view all of their great options, from wood privacy to ornamental aluminum fencing. Loudoun County Fence is a family-owned and operated company with over 50 years of experience installing quality fencing in and around Knoxville. They're fully licensed and insured, and their workmanship is guaranteed. For your free estimate, visit lcfence.com.
Need a new roof? You need Mo Shingles. Need new siding? You need Mo Shingles. Mo Shingles, locally owned and operated with an A+ Better Business Bureau rating and over 100 5-star reviews. Free estimates, moshingles.com, 770-0506.
This report is sponsored by Tire Rack. Nearly 3,000 teen drivers die in car crashes each year. Tire Rack Street Survival is designed to save lives. The one-day hands-on driving school gives teens experience in car control through exercises that include emergency braking and skid recovery. Find a class near you at TireRack.com/survive.
We're going into the week with limited rain chances for now, but more on the way. For now, it's just downright hot and humid. Saturday 98, feeling like the low 100s. A southwesterly wind gusting to around 15 miles per hour, helping to create those stray pop-ups through tonight with a warm low of 73 degrees. From the WVLT First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Heather Haley.
Johnson, I've been hearing about this internet thing. Anything to it?
Yeah, boss. We had Cumulus Digital design and run our website.
Will an internet help our sales?
Already has. Plus, Cumulus Digital helps us rank high on search engines.
Whoa, one thing at a time, Johnson.
CumulusDigital.com.
Josh and Swain is brought to you by McKeon Law Group. In counties near or small, there's a law firm to help you through whatever is your fall. Call Jed McKeon and the McKeon Law Group to guide you through your most trying times. 294-8008 and attorney-knoxville.com.
They say the best things in life are free. Streaming 99.1 The Sports Animal proves it.
This is Coach Josh Heupel. You're listening to Josh and Swain on 99.1 The Sports Animal.
This is Josh and Swain. Thank you for being with us on this Monday afternoon. VFL and former Tennessee wide receiver Jason Swain is here. I'm Josh Ward. 865-656-9900 is how you can be a part of the show. Call or text in as SEC football conversation is taking over with day number 1 here in Dallas, 4-day event at SEC Football Media Days. Tyler texted in that he had missed you. It's Roll Tide Tyler, Jason Swain, and he texted in today after Alabama was mentioned in the last segment and said, I have grounded you from talking about Bama, whipping that backside on the field and the recruiting path, young man. Respect your daddy, Kalen DeBoer. That is Roll Tide Tyler.
Oh, boy. Tyler, you better hope Alabama wins this year versus Tennessee. You better hope. You better hope, Tyler. Done a good job in recruiting so far.
Landed a couple of highly touted guys this past weekend.
Yeah, Alabama's doing a good job. Probably exceeding some of the expectations after Nick Saban walked away. They're still recruiting at a high level. So we'll see, Tyler. Yep. We'll see. Josh, I have nothing FCC compliant to say after that, okay?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
That makes sense. Okay. Tyler, we appreciate you tuning in to the show as always. We did mention Tennessee landed Travis Smith, 4-star wide receiver from Atlanta over the weekend. Tennessee is hoping to land at least a couple of defensive players before the end of the month, 2 or 3 could happen. And then next month, a little more than a month from today, August 17th, is David Sanders Jr.'s scheduled announcement. He is a 5-star offensive lineman. He has a Final 4 of Tennessee, Ohio State, Georgia, and Nebraska. Tennessee, Ohio State thought to be the 2 candidates. And last update from Austin Price a week ago was he still thinks Tennessee is in a good position, probably the best position of those 4 schools, a month out from the decision becoming official.
Yeah, the Gump Tyler got his offensive lineman, yesterday, a 5-star player. Now it's our turn. It's our turn to get ours with David Sanders. So you got to get big boys in the trenches, and Tennessee's been putting in a tremendous amount of work with David Sanders. He's been here multiple times. A lot of love between him, the Sanders family, and Tennessee. Hopefully Tennessee can be the name that is called or the hat that is drawn once he makes his announcement.
Swain, the media day kickoff today, recruiting conversation, of course, continues. Has the video game released today and this week for everybody, has that added to your college football juices? Have you gotten any video game conversation fatigue with all of the build-up to it?
No. I mean, because people are excited about college football season. They've been wanting the college football game for a very long time. I remember my days playing it and how exciting it was. I'm kind of past that stage now, so I don't play video games unless it's like Roblox with my kids or something like that. But I do understand the excitement, and it's pretty cool to see the game is back and see some of the ratings of some of my current players so people can disagree with those ratings.
Something else that happened today at SEC Football Media Days, Nick Saban arrived, which is not uncommon. He's come every year since 2007. But he came as an analyst this year. He's working with ESPN. He was denied entry at first, which was a little bit of a joke with he didn't have his credentials, so he had to go back and get it. I will attest to them being very serious about you having your credential. That even applies to Nick Saban. Saban also, though, on ESPN went ahead and made his prediction of the 2 teams that will play in the SEC championship game. Do you want to know who Saban has picked to be the top 2 teams in the league, or would you like to avoid finding out who he thinks will be at the top of the league?
I'm pretty sure he said Texas and Georgia. I did see him talk about leaving his credential in his room this morning on Get Up, but I did not see him talk about which 2 teams he thought was going to play in the SEC championship game. So that is what I think is a guess based on the best 2 teams I think right now in the conference, which is Texas and Georgia. Am I right? Am I wrong?
You are correct. He picked Texas and Georgia to make the SEC championship game, which means he picked against Kalen DeBoer, which means either he doesn't think Alabama's at that level, or Tide fans might say, hey, maybe he's trying to give that extra motivation to DeBoer's team. But he went with Texas and Georgia. My guess is that's just what his opinion is. Greg McElroy was a part of the segment, somebody whose name gets a little pushback in Knoxville these days, but he chose Texas against Alabama in the SEC title game. And then Benjamin Watson, who was a part of the segment as well, picked Georgia against Ole Miss. So Texas, Georgia, Texas, Alabama, and Georgia, Ole Miss, the pick during a segment with Nick Saban, Greg McElroy, and Benjamin Watson this morning here at Media Days to kick things off.
I think when you look at Lane Kiffin and how he's coached and the talent that he's acquired, I think that's a really good pick. I need to see it to believe that Walter Nolan and Juice Wells, guys that have had some examples of being a me-first player, very, very talented, but they've had examples of displaying that type of me-first attitude. How will Lane Kiffin handle that? All those new faces there at Ole Miss, will he be able to put a team together? Football's the ultimate team game. Can he kind of corral all the personalities? I think Texas is the easy choice based on who they have coming back. They have a really good quarterback. Look at Quinn Ewers. You look over at Georgia, and they have two of the top 5 quarterbacks, this upcoming NFL draft. So I think it's easy to pick those two schools too.
Hey, where do we stand on rumors with this show? How do we address rumors? We do, we don't, depends?
It depends on what it is.
Okay. Well, I'll bring it up and then you determine how we address it. In the text box, I personally know Roll Tide Tyler because I work with him. He is also a Vanderbilt baseball fan, North Carolina basketball fan, to go along with being an Alabama football fan. Doesn't matter what he thinks. He can't stick with one team. He deserves the trash talk, so let him have it, Swain.
So he's Gump Tyler during football season, Tar Heel Tyler during basketball season, and Vanderbilt Tyler during baseball season. Is that what we're saying?
That's the way it appears according to this report in the text box.
I believe it.
Okay.
I believe it. Tyler, you do not get the benefit of the doubt. I believe that. I believe that. That's tragic.
The Commodores are here today at SEC Media Days as well.
Josh, I don't care.
Okay.
Who cares about Vanderbilt being at SEC Media Days? Whoever talks about Vanderbilt at SEC Media Days, not even when they have a new coach, they don't get talked about at SEC Media Days. This is Media Days, Josh. This ain't a spelling bee. It's Media Days. No one cares.
I shared an elevator ride yesterday evening with Clark Lee. They got in town last night, which I'm sure most schools have to do because it's tougher to get to Dallas. Had a nice quick chat with Clark Lee.
What y'all talk about?
Media Days and having to get to Dallas.
Did he say this year's the year?
He didn't. He didn't make any bold predictions. Not during our conversation.
I wonder why.
I like Clark Lee. He is in a very difficult position.
Yeah, he is. He is. I mean, he wanted the job, knowing that it was going to be difficult. He has kind of pivoted a little bit. His approach of not hitting the portal and not paying for players. He realized that was a bad mistake, and he was willing to kind of own up to his mistakes. And he's trying to keep his job and trying to do the best he can for the school that he has a lot of love for. So I do respect that. It's not his fault that Vanderbilt's just not going to be a winner. We're not going to see James Franklin walk through that door anytime soon. And it's harder now than ever to win in the SEC. So I just don't see it, man.
Okay, we've got to get out this segment, but I have to bring this up. Tyler responded, appearing to confirm the report. So Tyler, who trash talks Swain about Alabama
football,
football,
of it?
North Carolina basketball fan, Vanderbilt baseball, he texted, you name all those teams, they have a common denominator. They beat Tennessee in the 23-24 seasons. Surely he's not talking trash on behalf of Vanderbilt baseball against Tennessee this past season. Surely not.
Tyler, you got to lie, man. You got to say, no, man, that's not true. I like one team. That's Alabama. I like football and basketball and softball and baseball. I like one team. You don't admit to liking multiple college teams, Tyler. What are you doing? I had to help you with your trash talk the first time you called in. Now I have to help you now. What are you doing, Tyler?
Must-lie situation.
Was not
You're
successful
right.
against Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee won the national title.
Yeah. And Tennessee I think, went further or maybe the same spot in North Carolina in basketball because Alabama beat North Carolina. Oh, Tyler, what did you do when Bama played North Carolina in basketball, man? Huh? What'd you do? What'd you do with yourself? That's what I want to know.
A Crimson Hill.
My goodness. Come on, Tyler. The
Tyler
people listening to you, they think you are the worst type of sports fan.
Tyler versus Swain. Good to have that back as well. We'll come back 865-656-9900 to be a part of the show. We're in Dallas with SEC Football Media Days coverage. That will continue as well on the sports animal side of things with Tyler and Will this afternoon. We're here all 4 days. We have coverage on the sports animal, AM 640, the sports monster, and we continue on Josh and Swain.
Time to work smarter, not harder, with a household membership at the Y. While you lift, run, or join a group fitness class, your kids can take swim lessons or start developing healthy habits of their own in youth fitness classes. The Y offers something for everyone in the family with free kids programs for Y members, state-of-the-art fitness equipment for you, and motivating wellness coaches to help you reach your goals. Make workout time family time at the Y. Join online at ymcaknoxville.org.
Fellas, if you're feeling tired this summer, you've noticed a lack of motivation and drive, maybe some weight gain, loss of muscle mass. These are signs of low testosterone levels, and we got to take some action here. The first thing to do is to get your levels checked. It's a simple blood test, and because of the on-site lab there at Low T Center, you're going to get your results back quick, fast, and in a hurry, about 25 minutes. Low T Center is not like your typical doctor's office. It is concierge medicine for men, and their physicians specialize in treating low testosterone with customized treatment for each patient. They have convenient treatment options, including physician-monitored self-inject treatments for established patients. This will ship right to your home each and every month without the need to come in for the weekly visits. Right now at Low T Center, it's just $25 to get your T-level tested. Results back to you in about 25 minutes. So let's get you feeling your best again. Go to the website. That's lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online today. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
This has been a paid announcement.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The largest selection of timeless Cadillacs in over 5 years is waiting for you at Cadillac of Knoxville, where you'll get as low as 1.9% financing on select new Cadillac models. And our inventory has never been better with over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Visit Cadillac of Knoxville or shop CadillacofKnoxville.com. Well-qualified buyers when financed with Cadillac Financial. Monthly payment is $29.04 for every $1,000 you finance. Some customers will not qualify in 731.
Hey guys, are you suffering from delusional dad bod syndrome? This is when you look in the mirror and you see yourself as a young hunk, but actually you're just an old big chunk. You could win the Dad Bod of the Year award. Hi, I'm David Brewster from AquaClear Water Systems. Hey guys, it's not your fault. You've been drinking fat water. That's water with all the heavies in it, like heavy metal, heavy hardness impurities. You drink heavy water, it goes down your gullet like a lead sinker. If you start drinking pure water from the AquaClear Water System and don't eat, you're guaranteed to lose weight for sure. Now, these comments have not been approved by FDA or your mama, but I do know drinking pure water is good for your health, so drink up. Go to our website, aquaclearws.com. That's aquaclearws.com.
AquaClear will change your water. It'll change
and to the beach you go. Look out, ladies. Here comes the healthy hunk.
From the Budweiser studios of The Sports Animal, we are 99.1 The Sports Animal.
This is Josh and Swain. Thank you for being with us. VFL, former Tennessee wide receiver Jason Swain is here today. I'm Josh Ward. We're in Dallas, SEC Football Media Days. Shorter segment to close out hour number 2. Another hour to go on our show, plus Tyler and Will here this afternoon. New name, Bandwagon Tyler, instead of Roll Tide Tyler. Tyler.
Poor Tyler. Poor Tyler Ivins, man. Poor Tyler Ivins, man.
Yeah, having to pick up the weight from Bandwagon Tyler's name. A lot of good Tylers out there.
I feel bad for Tyler Ivins, man. Got Bandwagon but Tyler just messing up the name for all Tylers out there.
Not Tyler Wyatt's fault? Not Tyler Bray's fault?
Nope.
Not at all?
Nope. I've heard that one in a long time. Fans of 3 different collegiate schools. Wow.
Yeah, pro's one thing, because I'm a fan of 3 different cities, Bulls, Braves, Raiders, who are all in terrific positions right now. But, college is a little different. Yeah, don't worry about what I just said.
I'm not worried about it at all.
Okay. Greg Sankey asked how Nick Saban can help as a former coach going forward. Quote, help us avoid rat poison.
That's never been an issue. The SEC is always avoided that. Not reading press clippings, always trying to strive for greater heights. No problem there.
Shane Beamer had his 30-minute session in the main press room, and his opening statement clocked in at 17 minutes, according to Brett McMurphy, one of the longest opening filibusters in SEC Media Days history. At about the 13 or 14-minute mark, he said, we'll be picked 14th, 15th, or 16th in the SEC preseason poll. I'm sure, but I'm really excited about this group. Shane Beamer of South Carolina today here at Media Days.
Yeah, Shane, that's when someone has to kind of walk up next to you, give you the sign to wrap it up. And if I'm Shane Beamer, I don't think I would want to be talking that much anyway. My team probably not going to be that good.
Les Miles was a great filibuster. I'm guessing Shane's approach was to get up there and sell the program as much as he can, and by doing so, you limit the amount of questions you're going to receive. Vanderbilt will be picked last in the SEC. Arkansas, Mississippi State will be near the bottom, and then I'd say South Carolina just ahead of them would be my guess.
Yeah, they're just in a really tough spot, man. I've said this before, but you lose Spencer Rattler, who is an NFL quarterback. Would not be surprised if he is playing this year for the Saints at some point, and you couldn't win big with him. You lose him and other players. What do you think is going to happen this year? I just don't see South Carolina having a really good season at all. I think Shane Beamer's going to be in trouble with those fans there in Columbia.
We'll see what happens.
Columbia.
Yeah, Columbia East in the SEC. They want to win at South Carolina. Part of the problem is everybody wants to and expects to win, save for maybe the team in Nashville. We have 1 hour to go here with day number 1 of SEC Football Media Day coverage on Josh and Swain.
Hey guys, Trevor Bain here. When I'm on the racetrack, I always look for ways to go further, faster. And when it comes to banking, I need a checking account that does the same. Rewards Checking from Southeast Bank pays me cash back with every debit card purchase over $10, gets me ACH deposits up to 3 days early, and has no monthly service fees. Taking my wallet the extra mile. Rewards Checking from Southeast Bank. Checking that takes you further. Visit southeastbank.com or visit your nearest branch to open an account today.
Member FDIC, terms and conditions apply.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
Marilyn Facer recommends 3-day kitchen and bath.
Working with Dave was an absolute delight. Once everything was scheduled, everything went perfect.
Have you ever had a remodel done before?
About 25 years ago, and it was a nightmare.
Was 3-day kitchen and bath on time?
There was no delays. Everything was on time. All the deadlines were met. Everything came up.
Would you recommend 3-day kitchen and bath to your friends and neighbors?
I highly recommend them to anybody.
Top quality products and craftsmanship in 3 days or less. Call 3-day kitchen and bath. Always on time as promised, at the price promised, and your job comes with complete satisfaction guarantee. No ifs, ands, or buts. Visit their website at 3daykitchen.com. That's 3daykitchen.com.
3-day kitchen and bath.
Morgan Wallen Live. One night at a time, 2024. September 22nd at Neyland Stadium with special guests Hardy and Ernest. I need something you prove. Morgan Wallen. I'ma need some whiskey glasses. On sale Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern at livenation.com.
You already know that Miller Brothers Auto Repair offers services from transmissions and engines to oil change and routine maintenance. What you may not know is Miller Brothers Collision Center can handle all your collision repair needs. Our certified technicians will make your damaged car look brand new. We accept all insurance. If you bend it, we can mend it. Miller Brothers is located on Tazewell Pike right here in Knoxville, and we're proud supporters of the Tennessee Vols. Call us at 689-5072. That's 689-5072.
Neurological Performance Group, known simply as NPG Brain and Concussion Clinic in Dallas Springs, was co-founded by Dr. Todd Abel, a local neurosurgeon, a local businessman, Mark Slaughter, and Mark Helinsky of Helinsky's Hope, very purposely after his son took his life while a quarterback at WSU, which was brought on by a brain disease called CTE, caused by repeated hits to the head. NPG Brain and Concussion Clinic, whether it's a concierge concussion program or mild cognitive impairment concerns, NPG brings the right people, the right technologies, and the right price so everyone can live a happier, safer life.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-280-8787. That's 1-800-280-8787. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-280-8787. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
This is WNML AM Knoxville, WNML FM Friendsville, streaming worldwide on the Sports Animal app and website 991thesportsanimal.com. 99.1 The Sports Animal, the station where the Vols play.
This is Jim Rome with a Sports Minute, sponsored by Relief Factor, the natural way to fight pain. If you're into apocalyptic hellscapes, then you probably were all about that scene at the Copa America final. But if you're a sane person, then you probably are just trying to figure out how it's even possible that a sporting event could devolve into a level of derangement and chaos like that one. It's soccer. Way to soccer. I'm Jim Rome. As you know, summertime is here. And for most people, that means more activities, more golf, more biking, more of whatever you love to do. But if you're dealing with minor aches and pains, your more could become less. This is why I'm here to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. You see, instead of masking your pain, Relief Factor's formula is designed to help reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free, and it's been a game changer for so many people. So let's get after it this summer. Let's feel good. Let's do more of the things that we love to do. Don't let pain keep you down. Give Relief Factor a try and save on your first order. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Fight pain pain naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Josh and Swain is brought to you by McKeon Law Group, recovering millions at damages for personal injury clients throughout East Tennessee. Call Jed McKeon and the McKeon Law Group so they can help you get the help you need. 294-8008 and attorney-knoxville.com.
We begin hour number 3 of Josh and Swain on this Monday afternoon. Thank you for being with us. VFL and former Tennessee wide receiver Jason Swain is here. I'm Josh Ward. We're on social media at Josh and Swain. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You'll find Tennessee at SEC Media Days tomorrow. So tomorrow we will hear from Josh Heupel, Tennessee's head coach, and he will bring with him center Cooper Mays, defensive lineman Amari Thomas, linebacker Keenan Peely. They will be the 3 representatives for the Vols on day number 2. Tennessee is an interesting team to talk about because I think everybody views Tennessee as a team that is capable of competing for a playoff spot. Some people have Tennessee in the playoff going into the start of the season. Andy Staples did a bold prediction list a week ago, a little more than a week ago. One of his predictions was that the SEC would produce 5 teams in the playoff, and team number 5 was Tennessee. So he had Tennessee in. Greg McElroy put out his top 10 last week, and he put Tennessee at number 10. Now, that was 6th, I think, in the SEC going in, so he's SEC heavy in his top 10. Swain, a lot of our texts at the time said he's just trying to suck up after what he said about Tony Vitello. Either way, that's where he had Tennessee there. So those are a couple of the predictions that have had Tennessee. And Phil Steele had Tennessee kind of on the fringe entering the season as a playoff contender, but obviously have to win enough games. He also said he thinks 9-3 still would give Tennessee a shot if they go that way. I'm of the mindset that you need to be 10-2, at least going in, plan on being 10-2, but Phil still said 9-3 could still give Tennessee an opportunity if that's how the record plays out.
I mean, it could. I mean, we just don't know what's going to happen around the college football with some of the other teams and other matchups. So it could, but it gives you a better chance to go to the playoffs if you are 10-2. I like kind of where Tennessee is because you look at it. I know I said usually when you have a defensive line that Tennessee has and coming off a bowl win, usually you have that team get a lot of more preseason love, ranked in the top 5, top 10. But you do have a first-year starting quarterback in Nico, even though he was really, really good in the bowl game. You do have offensive line that was beat up. You do have significant questions at wide receiver, even though you added some names, you added some players. The questions at receiver is probably bigger than the questions at quarterback. And we saw how big the receivers were in 2022. To come back the next year and have that much of an issue, it really caused some issues for Tennessee's offense. So I think that's the biggest question with this team. Wide receiver, the lack of playmakers. Kevin Simon has been on record questioning that group, and they have to step up and silence some of the critics. And then you look at the running back room being a little short-handed right now, even though Dylan Sampson is a star. I think the question surrounding receiver is why Tennessee is not getting that consensus playoff talk that we see some of the other teams get.
We can have somebody maybe play at a level higher, much higher than expected, but Chris Brazzell coming in seems like a guy that needs to hit for this wide receiver room, doesn't he, considering his physical makeup, the excitement around him. Earlier in the offseason, Cole Kubelik was singing his praises, called him the real deal. Earlier in the show, Jim Nagy from the Senior Bowl was talking about seeing him in person and how impressive he was at Tulane, and he's a guy that Tennessee should be excited about. Chris Brazzell is a guy that if he pans out right away, that would be big news for Tennessee's offense.
Chris Brazzell is important. but this team needs 3 guys that they can count on. That's what they had in 2012. Why keep saying 2012? 2022. That's what you had in 22. You had Brew McCoy. You had Cedric Tillman. That Tillman at first was the go-to guy. And then when he went out, Jalen Hyatt stepped up and proved to be the playmaker, proved to be the best receiver in the country, according to the Biletnikoff Award. You need more than just one guy. Like, this room needs 3 or 4 guys that they can count on, and that's what they had in 22. Even when Tillman went out, you had Ramel Keaton step up and make plays. He was better in 22 than he was in 23 as a starter.
Yeah, so Keaton made critical plays.
Yeah, you had 3 or 4 guys. You had 3 or 4 guys that you can count on in 22, and in 23 you didn't have more than one because of a number of reasons. So I know we're talking about Chris Brazel, but you got to have more than just him. You got to have 3 or 4 guys that can step up and be dependent.
Has Squirrel White established himself as being somebody who's in that group, or do you want to see him take the next step for him to say that he's in that category?
I personally think Squirrel White is in that category. I understand why others say they need to see more. I thought Squirrel was fearless in the Alabama game and in big games. His size can sometimes make you not believe he can be a reliable star from the beginning of the season to the end and be available. But I'm a Squirrel White believer. I saw with my own 2 eyes how he played against Alabama, how he played in those big games, in the Florida game, how he was running routes, even though we didn't get the ball to him like we should have. Watching him, I felt like he was fearless and ready for the moment.
In the text box, Matthew asks, what do you make of RG3 saying Colorado has the best quarterback in college football? Shedeur Sanders, Deion's son, is the quarterback in Colorado. He is a very good player. Best quarterback in college football, I would think that is a stretch. That is RG3, a Heisman Trophy winner, who's an analyst now saying that. What do you think?
I think Shedeur Sanders reminds RG3 of himself, and I think that is a factor in his opinion. I think Shedeur Sanders is really, really good, and I wonder how good he would be if you put him on Georgia's team, you put him on Texas' team, and you put him on some of these other teams that have better supporting cast. But I think you lump him in with some of the other dudes who are regarded as the top quarterback. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I
don't agree, but I don't have a problem with him saying that because he's earned the right to say that, man. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. He's a top 5, NFL pick, and he played multiple years in the NFL. Like, he has the right to say that, and I get kind of where he's coming from.
Yeah, and there are mock drafts you can find that have Shedeur in the top 5, top 10 of the NFL draft. Let's see if that happens, but it's not like we're talking about a guy projecting the 6th round of the draft that RG3 is saying that about either. Did you see over the weekend Shedeur and Travis, I think they were doing a stream of the video game, ended up kind of clowning on the Colorado offensive line?
I did not. I did not see that. I kind of stopped paying attention to the media and the video stuff coming out of Colorado. Now, unless it's significant, Deion Sanders doing something crazy. It's so much stuff coming out of Colorado because I know this is part of their plan to try to make up for the fact that they're not Alabama or Georgia or Texas or some of the Ohio State, some of the big name programs, Tennessee. So they have to create their own content and create their own energy in their direction. And this is how they go about doing it. I know Deion Sanders Jr. handles the media there with well-off media. So I get it. I don't pay attention to it as much as I did before.
That's probably the healthier way to approach it.
I mean, they got to start winning some big games, man. Like,
I agree.
I can't get caught up in all the hype.
Yeah, we did it for a year. He was the SI Sports Person of the Year.
Yeah.
After 4-8. So Colorado, here's the schedule to start out. Here we are at SEC Media Days, though, and I'm bringing up Colorado's schedule. So
yeah, look at what we're doing here.
Yeah, look at me. My fault on this. Week 2, they go to Nebraska. I'm kind of bullish on Nebraska, by the way, in relative terms. They have Colorado State on the road. That's not a guaranteed win. Week 3. Baylor week 4 at UCF. Kansas State, that'll be tough. At Arizona, that'll be tough. Cincinnati will be tough. At Texas Tech will not be easy. Utah, at Kansas, won't be easy. Oklahoma State. So a bunch of winnable games, but a whole bunch of losable games too for Deion and company.
Yeah, they'll be happy to get to a bowl game with that schedule. I think the schedule is harder than it was last year, and they won only 4 games. They're supposed to beat the brakes off Colorado State and couldn't do that. I mean, barely beat them after their coach was talking crazies, talking sideways. Deion brought his mama into the equation and everything, and barely beat them. So how will they fare versus better competition in a tougher conference? I need to see it to believe it. I think Deion has been really good for college football. I do like that Colorado went out and made a against the grain type of hire with Deion Sanders, and I'm glad that players feel like they can go somewhere and play for a coach that's been there, that's done that. There's some players that believe, hey, they want to play for a coach that kind of looks like them. I certainly understand and respect that, but I'm not on the Deion Sanders train like that. I mean, it was entertaining, but go win something, man. Go win something. Then you'll get all that attention that you deserve. Right now, it's based on Primetime's name and the attention that he brings because of his personality. It ain't because of good football. That's for sure.
Yep. It's Big 12 football. They're back in the Big 12. Better be ready. If not, it's intramurals time in past Colorado since. We'll come back. You can join us as we're at SEC Football Media Days. Day number 1 is here. Tennessee will be here tomorrow. You can join us. Call or text in. Text box is open at 865-656-9900. VFL and former Tennessee wide receiver Jason Swain is here. I'm Josh Ward. This is Josh and Swain.
An iconic band. The Eagles live at Sphere Las Vegas. Performing 8 shows this September 20th through October 19th, and you could be there. We've got 2 trips for 2 with flights, a stay at the Venetian Resort, dinner at Chica Las Vegas, 2 tickets to the show, plus a 5B VIP experience package. Listen weekdays to The Sports Animal for national keywords for your chance to see the Eagles live at Sphere Las Vegas. Prizes provided by Live Nation. Contest rules at 991thesportsanimal.com.
Today, we're on a quest for the ever-elusive local business. However, our search is difficult as big-name national companies overshadow their smaller competitors. If only these local businesses knew about Cumulus Boost. Cumulus Boost can increase their online presence in ways that go beyond basic SEO. Aha! A mom-and-pop shop victory. Get found by more customers with Cumulus Boost at cumulusboost.com. That's CUMULUS Boost.com.
Life insurance. It's something you need, but the process can seem overwhelming. And while buying coverage online may seem like an easy option, it can often lead to an expensive one-size-fits-all policy. What if one 15-minute phone call was all it took to get a personalized quote? That's reality with SelectQuote. SelectQuote customers save $6,000 over the course of a policy by working with a licensed insurance agent. And with their suite of highly rated insurance carriers, you can compare your options based on your needs and budget all in one place. Plus, they have policies for less than $1 a day with no medical exam required. That's right. You can be covered by the time you hang up. With savings like these and a process this easy, it might just be the most important call you make this year.
Get an accurate quote the first time with a SelectQuote agent today. Call 1-800-350-1313 for your free quote. That's 1-800-350-1313. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-350-1313. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
Ask most contractors about a kitchen or bath remodel, and you'll get similar answers.
So how long?
About 2 months.
Longer than that.
3 days.
Longer than... Wait a minute, what?
3 days.
3 days?
3 days or less. With 3-day kitchen and bath, you get a new kitchen or bath finished with top quality products and craftsmanship All in 3 days or less guaranteed.
No eating out because my kitchen is in shambles for a month?
Nope.
No borrowing the neighbor's bathroom for weeks on end?
You'll have a whole new look in 3 days or less.
And those other guys?
They want our web address.
Hey, what's your web address?
See?
A lot of people will.
Just visit 3daykitchen.com. 3daykitchen.com.
3 days?
3 days? Yeah, isn't that something? 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. Simply amazing.
3-day kitchen and bath.
So the body knows that it needs to heal itself, but it doesn't know how to concentrate it and target it into just one area. So that's where we come in.
By we, Dr. Ashley Caravelli means the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, QC Kinetics.
We put in those treatments, then it sends out like little signalers to your body. We're able to make the body focus on the areas that need the most healing.
QC Kinetics has gathered brilliant medical minds like Dr. Caravelli and Dr. Mitchell Shinecup, a pioneer in the field of regenerative medicine, to lead the way in these innovative pain treatments.
So at QC Kinetics, we have a whole team working nationwide with cutting-edge research to reach our patients and treat them and know that surgery is no longer their only option.
The consultation is free. Find out if you're a candidate. Call QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 865-238-4799. That's 865-238-4799. 865-238-4799.
Hey folks, Gerald Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. Are you in the market for a new Nissan but undecided because you want leather seats and they're just so expensive? Then now's your chance to get leather seats at no additional cost. Buy any new in-stock cloth interior Nissan from a Versa to a Titan. It don't matter. Even a 7-passenger Pathfinder, 8-passenger Armadas. And Ted Russell Nissan will add leather at no additional cost. Buy any new Nissan from Ted Russell Nissan this weekend and get leather seats at no additional cost. Ted Russell Nissan right here on Kingston Pike.
Ted Russell Nissan. We got it going on.
Always on, always free. Stream us free via the app, your smart speaker, your favorite streaming service, or the website at 991thesportsanimal.com. Fair, honest sports conversation from two guys that define credibility. Here's Josh and Swain on The Sports Animal.
This is Josh and Swain. Thanks for being with us. VFL and former Tennessee wide receiver Jason Swain is here. I'm Josh Ward. Thanks for listening to us. If you're listening live or on demand, remember, you can always go back and listen. Check out our conversation at the start of the 1 o'clock hour with Jim Nagy, the executive director of the Senior Bowl, breaking down the talent of Tennessee's football team, rising talent that will be draft eligible after this upcoming season. Search Josh and Swain anywhere you get your podcast. That includes Apple and Spotify, the WNML app. You can always listen to our show on demand thanks to Beatty Chevrolet. We'll be here until 3 when Tyler and Will take over on the sports animal side at SEC Football Media Days. And Media Days always kick off with the commissioner speaking to the media, and it's his first time to address the media with the SEC now being a 16-team league. At the start of the month, Oklahoma and Texas came into the league, but Swain, you know how this goes. You expand to 16, and the question is, okay, what's next? So I think on 3 different occasions, the subject was brought up in some way. So here are the 3 different answers. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey being asked about the possibility of the SEC expanding beyond what is now a 16-team league.
But I don't spend an enormous amount of my time thinking about it. I certainly don't spend any time engaged in that recruiting activity because we're focused on our 16, and I want to be respectful of the difficulty that's currently faced with that issue, that set of issues within the ACC, and my colleague, Jim Phillips. We're focused on our 16, period. You've seen how we've made decisions over the last decade plus for contiguous states to join. I think that's incredibly wise and provides remarkable strength. The last 3 questions are part of the reality, which is I've responded now 3 times where our focus lies. Our focus is on our 16 members. I have a responsibility to pay attention, and I'm certainly not going to fuel speculation on what happens next.
So, Swain, the focus is on 16. There are banners here in Dallas at the Omni Hotel where we are for SEC Media Days that say the SEC now 16 strong. There have been talks about Clemson and Florida State because we know about their unhappiness with the ACC. There's actually been a good amount of Big 12 talk in the last 7 days or so connected to Clemson and Florida State. But right now, Greg Sankey shot down any idea of the SEC expanding beyond the 16 teams with Oklahoma and Texas coming in, at least in the immediate future.
That's what he's supposed to say. I mean, that's where his focus should be, is on the 16 members, especially adding 2 new members in the landscape of college athletics continuing to change. He should be focused there. But if there's opportunity that comes up to expand, then, hey, I'm sure he'll take advantage of it. But for right now, to be asked questions about expanding after officially welcoming 2 new teams, I mean, what kind of answer do you think he's going to get from Greg Sankey? He wasn't going to give you what you wanted.
Not at all. 3 years ago, when word came out from the Houston Chronicle at SEC Media Days, where the league invited the media to come cover what's going on with the league, word came out that Texas and Oklahoma were going to join the conference, were planning to at the time, and all the media got was a bunch of no comments. So while it was a media event invited by the SEC, they no commented on what was already happening with Texas and Oklahoma getting ready to jump from the Big 12 to the SEC. So I wouldn't expect anything even close to that with the idea of Clemson and Florida State. And maybe nothing's going to happen. Maybe nothing happens with Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina, NC State, or Duke, those schools that have also been linked to the league. But I also wouldn't rule out in the next 3 years, 5 years, something happening. I wouldn't rule anything out in the next 3 months, at least in terms of word of more change coming.
I mean, Clemson and Florida State needs the SEC. The SEC doesn't really need them. I mean, expanding to Texas and bringing in Texas A&M, that was big for the Dallas market. But getting Texas is huge, and then getting OU is huge. I mean, I just feel like Clemson needs the SEC and Florida State needs the SEC. So Greg Sankey is cool, man.
A week ago, middle of last week, the Big 12 commissioner at his opening statement said we've established ourselves as one of the top 3 conferences. Now, he didn't say top 2 because he knows how foolish that would be, trying to say the Big 12 is ahead of the SEC or the Big 10, but that did say we're ahead of the ACC. So the Big 12, which does have good depth, I don't know that there's one real national championship contender in the Big 12, but they have a bunch of good teams, a bunch of good programs with some that have arrived, like Utah coming in. The Arizona schools have potential, and then others that have come in recent years, like UCF and BYU, have added to the depth of programs. Colorado comes back in. We just talked about them last segment.
Yeah, I mean, the Big 12 is better than the ACC because you don't have your 2 best teams inside of the conference wanting to leave and publicly wanting to leave.
That helps, too.
The ACC has going on right now. So, yeah, it's a PR nightmare for the ACC. With the Big 12, you have more synergy. You got people on board. They have a good group of really good football teams that could make some noise. I agree with that assessment that the Big 12 is the top 3 conference in the land. I find it funny because you're not better than the Big 10. You're not better than the SEC. But, hey, you are better than the ACC, and then the Pac-12 is no more. So, yeah, I mean, it's true. I just find it funny that he said it and worded that way.
Jason Swain is here, former Tennessee wide receiver, VFL. I'm Josh Ward. We're at SEC Football Media Days, so a lot of the focus is on Tennessee football, SEC football. Tennessee football will be here tomorrow for day number 2. Tennessee baseball, though, continues to grab headlines. The draft is going on. We have an update with Tennessee in the Major League Baseball draft after a great day number 1 yesterday. We have attaboys to hand out. We'll get to that when we come back. 30 minutes to go on today's show as we continue right here on Josh and Swain.
You're listening to the radio flagship station for the 2024 College Baseball World Series champion Tennessee Volunteers. This is 99.1 The Sports Animal.
Hey Knoxville, it's your local State Farm agent, Josh Hemphill. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. Contact the Josh Hemphill team right here in Powell at 865-512-7542.
The great thing about sports is it never stops. Here's another 60-second sports minute on The Sports Animal.
Tennessee baseball had 4 players selected to the first 2 rounds of the Major League Baseball draft yesterday, marking the most picks to the first 2 rounds of any draft in program history. Second baseman Christian Moore went 8th overall to the Angels early in the first round. First baseman Blake Burke went 34th overall in the competitive balance round to the Milwaukee Brewers. Third baseman Billy Amick went in the second round 60th overall to the Minnesota Twins, and outfielder Dylan Dreiling went to the Rangers at number 65 overall. A couple of major soccer finals on Sunday. Argentina defeated Colombia 1-0 in extra time to win the Copa America. It's Argentina's 16th title in the tournament. In the Euro 2024 final, Spain defeated England 2-1. And in tennis, Carlos Alcaraz swept Novak Djokovic in straight sets to win his second Wimbledon championship. Alcaraz is just the second man in history to win each of his first 4 Grand Slam singles finals appearances. I'm Joel Silverberg.
Hey, it's Josh. I want to tell you about Ted Russell Ford and Ted Russell Lincoln. This is a great local company led by people who care very much about East Tennessee. We have purchased multiple vehicles at my home with my family at both the Parkside Drive and Kingston Pike locations for Ted Russell Ford. They have the summer sales event going on, so you can take advantage on savings that are available on Ford trucks, their lineup of SUVs, the Ford Bronco. Ted Russell Ford helped with getting coverage here in Dallas with SEC football media days. They can help you find what you are looking for, and you can take advantage of the savings going on right now during the middle of the summer. So if you're looking for a truck, check out the options they have with the F-Series Super Duty trucks. The 23 Ford F-150 Lightning has rates as low as 0% APR for 36 months. This is at Ted Russell Ford. Their lineup of trucks and SUVs can help you find exactly what you need. Shop on Parkside Drive, on Kingston Pike, and online at tedrussellford.net.
This has been a paid announcement.
This is Ken Salyer, General Manager at Cumulus Knoxville. For years, Executive Building Solutions has cleaned our offices and broadcast center. Their owner received the new Sentinel Leadership Award twice, and they have been named top workplace for 5 consecutive years. If your offices or facility are seeking elite customer care and cleanliness, let Executive Building Solutions be your solution to a clean office. Call today, 933-1766. 933-1766.
Summer is here, and Saturday, July 27th, a limited number of lake lots are being released to the public. Experience resort lake living at a fraction of the price. 2-acre wooded estate lots with boat slips from just $79,900. Reserve your townhome from only $20,000. Lake cottage package with boat slip only $349,900. Private golf cart access to a new marina. 10 miles of walking trails. 3.5 miles of shoreline. Brand new 25,000 square foot clubhouse. The summer waterfront concerts, pickleball, pools, on-site coffee shop, and much more. Play on the lake or relax at the waterfront restaurant. Just over 20 minutes from Knoxville and a short drive to the Smoky Mountains. Financing available. Call to secure your private tour. Times are limited. Enjoy life on the water, fresh air, boat rides, and sunshine as you celebrate the lake life. Limited property release Saturday, July 27th. Call 865-408-9992 or better yet, visit lakelivingtn.com. Memories start here.
Nashville, listen up. Atlanta Braves Kids Club members now have the option to purchase an exclusive Kids Club kit of Braves merchandise so they can rep the Braves wherever they are. The kit includes a Matt Olson t-shirt, a headband, sunglasses, a drawstring bag, a lanyard, and a member badge. The kit is a perfect gift for your kids, nieces, nephews, or any little Braves fan in your life. Visit Braves.com/Kids Club today to purchase the new Kids Club kit. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves country.
Eastern Kentucky University.
At Eastern Kentucky University, we're changing the game with free textbooks for all students, automatic scholarships, and programs that fit your career goals. Choose from 100-plus game-changing degree programs. Apply today for free at start.eku.edu/apply.
A stray shower or a storm can develop as we have a mix of sun and clouds, but plenty of heat and humidity. High today 98, feels like the low 100s. Southwesterly wind occasionally gusting up to 15 miles per hour. Stirring around a stray shower overnight with a very warm low of 73 degrees. From the WVLT First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Heather Haley.
At Ingalls, we know the ever-present struggle of what am I going to make for dinner this week? That's why we started the Ingalls Table. It's all waiting for you at Ingalls-Markets.com. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Josh and Swain is brought to you by McKeon Law Group. Some law firms specialize in one thing, but there's one here in East Tennessee that specializes in them all. Call Jed McKeon and the McKeon Law Group, 294-8008 and attorney-knoxville.com.
This is Condridge Holloway, and it's just
47 days until
it's football time in Tennessee.
This countdown to kickoff is brought to you by Knoxville TVA Employees Credit Union. People helping people since 1934.
Josh and Swain continues. Thank you for being with us at SEC Football Media Days. It's day number 1. 4 schools will come each day over the next 4 days, including today. We're in Dallas. We're at the Omni Hotel in Dallas to welcome Texas and Oklahoma to the league, was the approach by the SEC. Next year, the event will go back to the southeastern part of the conference, to Atlanta. So for many years it was in Hoover, went to Nashville last year. It's been in Atlanta a couple of times. Dallas today, where Tennessee will be tomorrow. Next year, back to Atlanta. VFL and former Tennessee wide receiver Jason Swain is here. I'm Josh Ward with a lot of the conversation today and this week around football. Swain, we cannot ignore what's happening with Tennessee baseball after their run to the national championship. The next step was heading off to the professional level. We saw 4 players drafted yesterday, and the Tennessee player is off the board today. As a little bit earlier this hour, the Kansas City Royals selected Drew Beam, Tennessee starting pitcher over the last 3 years, with the 76th overall pick in the 3rd round of the Major League Baseball draft. So 4 players from Tennessee were selected last night, and the 5th is off the board today in Drew Beam. There will be more that get drafted as well.
Hey, attaboy to Drew Beam, attaboy to all the players drafted. That's what happens when you win a championship. Is you have a lot of players from that team go and be selected, whether it's the NBA or the NFL. In this case, it's the MLB. So Drew Beam was very instrumental in helping Tennessee win a championship. A pitching staff that lost a first rounder last year with Chase Dolander, and then lost the ace with A.J. Russell this year. But this team still found a way to go win a championship and not let pitching be the Achilles heel. Drew Beam, a big reason for that.
Yep, a Tennessean who represented the University of Tennessee and now will represent the Kansas City Royals organization. So an attaboy, which we hand out every day, thanks to the Native Nursery, to Drew Beam. And yesterday, the 4 Vols who went off the board, Christian Moore in the top 10 at number 8 to the Angels. Those L.A. area teams, they keep falling in love with the Vols in different sports. So Christian Moore, then you also had Blake Burke going to Milwaukee. And then Dylan Dreiling, he's, I think, going to be a terrific pro. It was a great pick by the Rangers. And Billy Amick, a guy that maybe slid from where some projections were, but a very, very intriguing prospect, especially with where he went. So Billy Amick yesterday as well, and then today, Drew Beam, the 5th Vol selected, with more to follow. So attaboys handed out to them, and every day we hand out attaboys and attagirls thanks to the Native Nursery, open for contractors and landscapers. It's your one-stop destination offering quality wholesale plants, trees, and landscaping materials, including boulders, flagstone, mulch, and more. They'll even take your leaves and hardscape waste for a low flat rate. If you're a contractor or landscaper, make the Native Nursery your go-to location today. Stop by and see Ben and Ted at 3473 Louisville Road, just 5 minutes from Pellissippi off the Topside Road exit. The Native Nursery, available for contractors and landscapers. Christian Moore also singing the praises of Tennessee fans, which we've heard from him and other players before, but talking about Tennessee's fan base being one of a kind, talking about the parade, and then cool moment with Johnny Vitello and Christian Moore at the Major League Baseball draft. So the feelings of that run to the national championship extended over for the players and their head coach, as well as the Tennessee fans who were tuned in and trying to keep up with where those guys are going to go next.
Man, how do you recruit against Tennessee? You got Tony Vitello there, part of the MLB draft coverage. You have players being selected in the top 10, giving Tony Vitello his roses, his flowers and love, calling him the GOAT. And then you have Tennessee winning championships. I mean, good luck trying to recruit against Tony Vitello and this crew.
Yeah, they're not going to win every battle, but they're going to win a lot. And that's happened again here in the transfer portal and taking a couple of guys from Ole Miss, finding some pitching help that I know Vitello's very excited about what they might be able to do to come in and help join the staff from junior college, from Kennesaw State. Doyle's one of those two players from Ole Miss who will help with their pitching. So with Tony Vitello, Elander, Anderson, Frank Anderson, as long as they have that trio and they have the talent that's coming in, they've recruited very well. I don't know if they're going to repeat next season, but they're going to go in as a preseason top 5 team, I'm sure. I mean, maybe number 1, and they will contend again next season for SEC titles, and that will mean contending for a shot at the World Series again, too.
Hey, last year Tennessee wasn't preseason number 1. That was Wake Forest. That was other teams. Only one person there at D1 Baseball picked Tennessee to win the championship in the preseason, so that's okay. We don't need to be number 1 at the beginning of the season as long as we're number 1 at the end.
Yeah, Wake Forest had 2 of the top 4, 3 of the top 10 selected. Didn't make it out of the regional.
See, what had happened was, hey, kudos to Chase Burns, man. Happy for him that he was selected there at number 2.
Yep, number 2 to Cincinnati.
Yeah, man, for sure.
So Major League Baseball draft watch will continue. Here we are, SEC Football Media Days, and Tennessee Baseball still grabbing some of the conversation, deservedly so. But a lot of the talk is SEC Football Media Days. Conversation we had earlier in the show, Swain, was about the playoff, the SEC championship scenario as well, because it's no longer the Eastern versus Western Division winner. It's the top 2 teams in the 16-team league. Greg Sankey said that they have, I think, 8 principles in place, but they have not finalized the tiebreaker scenario. At some point, whether it's this year or in the next few years, at some point there will be a tiebreaker that has to decide what happens to get into the championship game. So it has not been announced yet. We had a few questions about that last week, and I thought, I don't know. And the reason I didn't know is because it hasn't been announced yet. So Greg Sankey said today, between now and the start of the season, should be finalized, should be announced for everybody to know what the tiebreaker looks like for the SEC title game in Atlanta.
Yeah, 8 scenarios. That's a lot, man. I'm intrigued. I want to see what all these include. I'm used to the old point differential. I'm used to that. I mean, that usually settles a tiebreaker pretty easy.
The way the schedule's set up, it's an 8-game schedule, of course, still in the SEC. Will be this year and next, and then we'll see what happens in 2026 and beyond. But, think about even Georgia. Georgia, typically the thought going in is, okay, well, they'll be an 8-0, maybe 7-1 SEC team, and maybe they will be this year. But, Swain, they go to Texas, they go to Ole Miss, they go to Alabama. They have Tennessee on the schedule. That is not an easy draw, even with the talent that Georgia has. And again, maybe they go through unscathed or barely. But going to Texas and Alabama, Tennessee coming to town, that's much later in the season. The Tennessee game for Georgia is the week after the Bulldogs go to Ole Miss. So in 3 straight weeks, Georgia will play Florida, which may not be a great team, but they have talent. Ole Miss on the road, and then Tennessee. Tennessee leading up to Georgia will play Kentucky and Mississippi State. From a scheduling standpoint, I know the game's in Athens, but in terms of the competition, Tennessee's lead up to the game is much lighter than what Georgia will face going up against Florida and Ole Miss on the road before playing Tennessee.
Yeah, you just have to be on top of your game, man, if you're Georgia. I mean, I think the schedule previously allowed Georgia to have maybe an off quarter, maybe have an off game and still be able to win, and no one really noticed it because the score was so lopsided. But now it puts a lot of pressure on those guys to come out and play their best. And understanding that a lot of those players coming in, they didn't win a championship. The teams before them won a championship. And this is something Nick Saban had to really preach to his teams. Just because you came in and, teams before you won championships, you didn't win one. You can't piggyback off the success of other teams. You have to create your own success. So that's something Nick Saban Kirby Smart has to battle with. But at the same time, the schedule is going to be more difficult, and they're going to have that bullseye on their back because everybody wants to beat them.
Georgia will also open with Clemson on August 31st. That one I'm not as concerned about on Georgia's side.
No, man, Georgia, they're making burgers during that game. No problem there. At all. A couple years ago, that game would be a whole lot tougher for Georgia, but
it was a few years ago. They had the very low scoring defensive battle, came down to a field goal.
Not now, man. That should be a multi-touchdown win for Georgia.
Yeah, I believe the point spread is that way as well. Let me see if I can find it for you. Clemson and Georgia. Georgia currently sits as a 13.5-point favorite against Clemson on August 31st.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that is a slip from Clemson and Georgia establishing itself where it is. We'll come back here with a segment to go on today's Josh and Swain. Day number 1 at SEC Football Media is getting ready for tomorrow when Tennessee will be here. We'll come back. Power Poll storylines for the week for the next 4 days. Biggest storylines to pay attention to discuss heading into the fall, maybe heading into the future of college football. That when we come back, we'll wrap up the conversation on Josh and Swain.
You do not want to miss this. The next 20 people to call Zero Res Carpet Cleaning will get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $99. That's right, 3 rooms of carpet for only $99. This offer is available until midnight tonight, so schedule your appointment before it's too late. Use promo code SALE99 at ZeroResKnoxville.com or call 865-816-5250. 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $99. Promo code SALE99. Zero Res, the right way to clean.
The largest selection of timeless Cadillacs in over 5 years is waiting for you at Cadillac of Knoxville, where you'll get as low as 1.9% financing on select new Cadillac models. And our inventory has never been better with over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Visit Cadillac of Knoxville or shop CadillacofKnoxville.com. Well-qualified buyers when financed with Cadillac Financial, monthly payment is $29.04 for every $1,000 you finance. Some customers will not qualify in 731.
I wake grateful every morning, grateful just to be, grateful for my life in Tennessee.
A song for Tennessee by Mike Stone.
Rocky Top rocks.
Rocky Top rocks.
Rocky Top rolls.
Rocky Top rolls.
With a joy that stills your heart and thrills your soul.
Rocky Top rocks. Rocky Top rolls. MikeStone.com, Spotify, iTunes, and all outlets.
Rocky Top rolls. Rocky Top rolls.
That's MikeStone.com.
Don't miss the Cumulus Media Boost Your Business Seminar, a free event for entrepreneurs like you. Join us at the Crown Plaza, Tuesday, July 16th at 9 for a breakfast session or at noon for our Lunch and Learn. Gain valuable insights from industry experts to help take your business to the next level. You'll even have a chance to win some amazing door prizes and grand prizes, valued up to $5,000. For details and to RSVP, call 865-588-6511 or email boostknoxville@cumulus.com.
It's Nico time in Tennessee. That's right, ball fans. Get ready for the most hard-hitting, electrifying, play-making deals in real estate you've ever seen. Oh, wait. I should probably clarify. I'm Nick Nico, spelled N-I-C-A-U-D, with the Nick Nico team at Keller Williams. If you're looking to be like our Vols in your real estate moves, our Nico team is the hard-hitting, electrifying, play-making team for you. Don't listen to everyone say the market's tough, prices are up, where do I move to? Our team has the market knowledge that we call the Nico know-how. We know the area. Raised right here in Knoxville, I know what moves, so our team just cuts through what everyone else might see as an obstacle. And we turn it into an opportunity. Sell high and buy low on your next dream home with our Nico know-how. Let our team become your team. Check us out online, nicoteam.com. That's N-I-C-A-U-D team.com.
Hello, friends. This is Kevin Frazier with Frazier's Carpet One. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, luxury vinyl tile, ceramic, or anything for the floor, Frazier's is the name to trust. My great-grandfather Frazier started our flooring business in 1953. and the Frazier family has been proudly covering all of East Tennessee's flooring needs for the more than 70 years since. And you don't stay in business that long without offering value. Frazier's big in-stock selection means buying power muscle, and we pass those savings on to you. Plus, no money down and free financing for 18 months. Only at Frazier's. Call us today, 546-4850, and we'll come to you with free in-home estimates. Everything for the floor from the store you trust more, Frazier's.
Free on the radio, free on the app, free on our website. You can hear 99.1 The Sports Animal free anytime, anywhere.
From the Budweiser studios of The Sports Animal, we are 99.1 The Sports Animal.
Back for the final segment of Josh and Swain today. We'll have the Power Poll coming up in just a few minutes. We'll look at the top storylines for the week, today included, and then the next 3 days here in Dallas to get ready for the 24 season. Part of the conversation, what happens in the SEC beyond 2024, both the SEC and the world of college football. So that's coming up in just a few minutes. We'll close out the show with that in a moment. Thanks for listening to us on 99.1 The Sports Animal, AM 640 The Sports Monster in the Tri-Cities area as well, or wherever you tune into the show, however you do so, listening, or you can check us out on YouTube, live today where you can watch on the Sports Animal YouTube channel. Earlier in the show, we talked to Jim Nagy. I thought it was interesting, Swain, when you asked him about the transfer portal and the effect, because Nagy mentioned that I think it was a player at Oklahoma. He had just spoken to that player's agent recently. That's not a conversation we had 5 years ago or before that, but it's now a part of the game, players having representation. But he said that there are actually some benefits to NFL teams because there are more people to talk to about a lot of players who have transferred, who already have representation as a college athlete. So they go through that experience before getting ready for the next level, the NFL, which is his focus as the director of the Senior Bowl. I thought that was really interesting when Jim Nagy mentioned that earlier on the show.
Yeah, coaches are put into a really tough position sometimes when they're trying to help their players get drafted because they recruited these players. They talked about helping them get to the NFL draft, and then it's time to evaluate them. And coaches come in or scouts come in and talk to the coaches, and the coaches have to tell the truth. And sometimes the truth can hurt because if you don't tell the truth, you're only hurting the next group of guys the next following year because the scouts won't believe that coach if he lies one way or the other. It's good to have multiple sources from multiple schools. Now, sometimes you have players who've been in 3 different schools, but if it's just 2, I get where Nagy was coming from. You get more janitors to talk to, more support staff to talk to that may not just lie for the benefit of the player. You'll get more of the truth.
Another player from Tennessee to pay attention to talk more about it. He's at a position that doesn't get a whole lot of attention, but Jim Nagy talked about Omar Norman-Lott. Would have been a draftable player a year ago, but he came back to Tennessee for another season. That's to Tennessee's benefit. Friday on the show, Phil Steele picked Omar Norman-Lott as a guy that the question was kind of breakout candidate. I don't know if he's a breakout guy because he was a good player for them last year, but could take his game to another level. So Omar Norman-Lott should not be overlooked. He's joined the show here in the last couple of months. He's a really important part of what Tennessee wants to be defensively.
Yeah, he's the key to making this defensive line unstoppable. I mean, NFL talent, we know it's on the outside there with James Pierce, but on the interior, if Omar Norman-Lott is being disruptive as we think he can be, watch out for opposing offenses and offensive line. Him talking about Brew McCoy, that was really good stuff too because you look at his injury last year, you look at some of the questions with maybe his speed, but his toughness, you can't question that. You can't question how strong he is. And before the injury, he would have been a guy invited to the Senior Bowl. That was really good information from Nagy.
So Tennessee and every school had the chance to bring guys back, but Tennessee brought several players back who were on the draft radar a year ago. Brew McCoy, who, if not for the injury, he was ready, I think, to move on, but the injury happened. He comes back for another season at Tennessee. Cooper Mays, Javonte Spraggins were players that Jim was monitoring a year ago. John Campbell was. He's back now on the right side of the offensive line. And then same for Omar Norman Lott on the defensive line for Tennessee, plus Keenan Peely, who would have moved on if not for the injury he suffered in game number 1, so he missed almost all of last season. He is back for one more year in college. We believe one more year at Tennessee at linebacker. He will be here along with Amari Thomas and Cooper Mays tomorrow, day number 2 of SEC Media Day. So we have the rest of today, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in Dallas. Swain, we close out the show with the Power Poll with a look at storylines for the rest of the week. Talking SEC football, that can be on the field, that can be off the field. Do you have a list of storylines that interest you the most this week?
Yeah. Number 5, Will Lane Kiffin, the self-pronounced portal king. Will he make the college football playoff with all the additions that he's added in the offseason? Number 4, Brian Kelly. Will he fix the defense? How will LSU fare in the SEC? Had the most electrifying offense last year with Daniels and those dudes on offense. Defense was bad. They did not reach their goals. Number 3, how many teams will the SEC get into the college football playoff? Number 2, Kalen DeBoer take it over for the GOAT, the arguable GOAT, and Nick Saban. And number 1, it's about Texas and OU entering the league, pushing the number of the SEC to 16 teams. They'll come in, they'll win games. It'll be very, very competitive. And then the division's going away. So that's my top 5.
Okay. I have an honorable mention to the hot seat. There won't be as much talk as there sometimes is because they're not the highest profile coaches, but at Florida, what happens with Billy Napier, that is interesting because that's a program that should be talked about with the playoff. The schedule won't allow it, I don't believe, this upcoming season. How will that affect Billy Napier this upcoming year? Number 5, it's my only non-football on-the-field topic. It is expansion in the future of the league, which will affect college football. Greg Sankey's not going to give us much, but that doesn't mean people are going to stop talking about it. What happens with the SEC? How is it affected by what's happening with the ACC? What does the Big Ten want to do, and how might that affect what the SEC tries over the next year, 2-3 years? Number 4, the quarterbacks. The players coming back, like Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers, who's a newcomer to the league, but a returning quarterback, Jackson Dart, and then the rising talent. Nussmeier, who's here from LSU. Then you have Jackson Arnold coming into the league at Oklahoma. And Nico, he's not here, but people have already started talking about Nico this week and will tomorrow for sure, with it being Tennessee Day. Number 3, Kalen DeBoer at Alabama. Big expectations right away. Program still has a ton of talent. He's going there to win national championships. He knows that. Can he do it? How many in the college football playoff, as you mentioned as well? Can the league get 5 teams this year? There are more than 5 teams hoping to be in the playoff from the SEC. Number 1, it's why we're in Dallas. It's your number 1. It's mine as well. Oklahoma and Texas. Maybe Texas will win the league. I don't think Oklahoma's schedule will allow it in year 1, but they could spoil somebody's SEC title chances. They took down Texas a year ago. They will have all the confidence that they can do it again this year. That is the Power Poll to close out the show, to close out day number 1. Swain, it's great to have you back on the show. Enjoyed talking a little football with you, and we'll do it again tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a big one. We will have a chance to catch up with Josh Heupel, Keenan Peely, Cooper Mays, and Amari Thomas. They'll be here, so there'll be a lot of Tennessee talk. And it's not just Tennessee trying to come and go. Tennessee's trying to come in and continue moving up or get back to where it was at least a couple of years ago in the SEC.
I want to see Josh Heupel walk in, throwing horns down, going to the podium. Let's see if it happens.
You think he'll walk in, throw down the horns down, and say, shout out to UT Junior?
I hope
You think
so.
that'll be Josh Heupel tomorrow?
No, but it will be hilarious.
Swain is back. He came back disrespectful to the Longhorns. Oklahoma coming in. A shout out to Doug, who brought a little Oklahoma and Texas fire to the show, aside from the shot he took at Tennessee, calling Tennessee the Texas Tech of the SEC. You know what that means? It's almost football time in the SEC. The conversation will continue with Tyler and Will on the sports animal side. Thanks again to everybody in the Tri-Cities. Joel Silverberg producing and Jay Lyford engineering for us. We'll see you again tomorrow at noon on Josh and Swain.
His Security and Technology, your one-stop shop for all your security and technology needs. We offer state-of-the-art security systems to protect your home or business,